3?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the day we've all been waiting for. Threshold. Season 2, episode 15, I believe. So I've queue up Season 2, episode 15. Threshold.
15 is correct.
Threshold. The most romantic episode of Star Trek. Some people wonder what the best relationship on Star Trek was. Was it Jadzia Worf? Was it Bashir O'Brien? Was it Tom Paris and B'Elanna? The correct answer is Janeway and Tom Paris. As lizards.
Correct. You don't even need to add that on there. Everyone agreed.
But no, the bit with the lizard babies is really weird. But I like the episode. It's entertaining. It's an entertaining episode.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's just a TV show. It's not a big deal.
For the most part.
It does have one of my favorite Doctor lines.
Important.
One of my favorite Doctor lines where he's just like, oh, as far as I can tell, he's just asleep. Well, can you wake him? And then he wakes him up, and we'll get to that. Other than that, today, after Threshold, we're watching the episode where Tuvok mind melds with Grima Wormtongue. And then the episode where B'Elanna has to disarm a sentient bomb. A sentient missile.
Yeah. That's cool. 3 enjoyable Voyager episodes in a row. Can you believe that?
That's impossible. If you're new to watch-alongs, what you do is you queue up your own copy of the episode. Because I'm not playing 2.5 hours of copyrighted material on the channel. And then you press play when replays play, and there's a countdown, and there's a timestamp when it starts. And you go.
And for all the newcomers, what you have to do is you have to ask why the screen's blurred about 20 minutes in, just to annoy him.
Be a lot cooler if you didn't.
Ryan, why is the screen blurry?
It's not. It's not blurry. You're wrong. I mean, it might be a little blurry because it's downscaling from 1440p to 1080p, but that's acceptable.
Brian, why will the screen be blurry?
Shut up. So, Threshold, on my version, it's a disc copy, is 45 minutes, 55 seconds. You know, hopefully that's roughly equivalent to what you have.
Oh yeah, we're going to release the force
anymore.
field next episode. We're going to release the force field.
Release the force field, Captain.
Yeah, but now we're going to be able to the disc version will probably be very different from the Netflix version.
Well, it's what I got, so it's what we're going with. It's what I'm going with.
Well, that's fair. I mean, if you have the disc version, you might as well use it.
Now, if you're in the Discord, there is a way that it will much more easily synchronize with me. You know, if you prefer to use the Discord method.
Yeah,
otherwise, yeah, good luck, you two people.
Like halfway through the episode, right?
I just am demonstrating how it works. We're starting at 0000 of Season 2, Episode 15. Threshold. Threshold, which I used in my 12 Days of Christmas video.
Yes.
On the 10th day of Christmas, Starfleet gave to me Warp 10 lizard babies.
Yeah, that was definitely the best line in it.
Oh, yes. Not to toot my own horn, but I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's all about the lizards. Technically, they're not lizards. It was even
better than the single statue of me on Beige.
12 days of lizard babies.
Well, there's only 3 days of lizard babies in there.
True.
Anyway, does anyone remember, Ear Viewer Jinx, when we watched Threshold originally? Because we watched it once, but I don't know when.
I do remember that. I don't remember when.
It wasn't Valentine's Day. I went back and checked.
Yeah.
I thought it was, but it wasn't.
Are you sure you didn't add to the end of something that you didn't then change the title to include?
I have no idea. But everyone be ready to press play. We're going to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. We wouldn't watch it for Halloween. Why would we watch it for Halloween? It's not a Halloween episode, it's a romance episode.
Critical velocity, folks.
Yeah, air resistance is now equal to gravity.
Transwarp drive.
This is different from the Excelsior transwarp from Star Trek 3.
It's probably the same line of
Yes.
technology, but different.
Now, my guess
Come on,
is
are you
just
crossing the
transwarp is
threshold,
anything
Tom?
better than the current warp. So it's like the tomorrow of warp.
Come on, title drop. I know you want to do it, Tom. Approaching the threshold.
He said the name of the episode.
But he hasn't crossed the threshold. He's just approaching the title drop.
Mm-hmm. Oh no,
Yeah,
it's
Tom's
holodeck.
dead.
Can you believe that? It's actually the Voyager. It
Why do you,
wasn't shuttlecraft.
I like how it does just plop
do
him
you
back
do that
on the
just to
floor.
annoy me?
I want a shot of him falling out of his chair onto the floor.
That would be good.
What did I do to annoy you?
You said the Voyager.
Yes, I did.
Ooh.
It's just Voyager, you monster.
No, Harris clearly
Yeah,
said
right.
it's the Voyager flying through the star ejection, whatever the hell it's
It's
called.
the Deep Space
forgotten.
Nine.
Anyway, my
That's not
headcanon is
canon.
that the reason that the TOS warp scale and the TNG warp scale are different is because they had to redo it after the success of the transwarp drive.
That's a good theory. You should post that on Daystrom.
No, the people on Daystrom take themselves way too seriously.
It's the best
Maybe on
kind
the
of
other
seriously.
Daystrom. I like the other one more.
I like them both. They're
The chilled out one and
both
the
very
less
fun.
chilled.
It's best when they're talking about the same thing and they post the same post to both.
Okay. I guess I could do
It
that.
happens.
So, how about that weather? Everyone's weather good?
Cold.
Normal.
Of course it's cold. It's the middle of winter. What do you want?
Too cold.
It's never too cold.
Look, in South Africa, this time of year, it's like 50 degrees Celsius. It's not that in England, and I'm not happy.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound like you're from South Africa.
I'm not
Sound
in
very
South
British
Africa
to
right now,
me.
but I am actually from South Africa. I lived there for 18 years.
Do people in South Africa have British accents?
No, but they thought I was British.
So what? I don't understand what you're telling me. You're from South
Telling
Africa.
you that I am South Africa. I'm a South African.
Then why
He
do you
is
sound
South
British?
Africa.
And why did the people,
Because
the other
you
people
can't
in
just
South
ask
Africa?
people why they sound British.
Yes, I can. Why did the people in South Africa think you were British if you're South African? Why do? I don't get it. I don't understand.
There was a war between the Afrikaner, like Dutch population, and the British population that made the modern nation of South Africa. I still don't understand it, but it's called the Boer War, the Boer War. I don't know what it is.
Or
Do
Thank you.
certain communities of South Africa have British accents?
No,
Yeah.
they don't.
it's a very simple answer. I'm just struggling to sync up the video. I'm not talking.
Just use the Discord version.
I prefer to have the challenge.
Whatever.
But
The maximum
I wonder-
warp barrier.
I wonder how many times
Warp
Tom
Barrier.
Paris acted to like get that look on his face when he hits warp 10.
That's quite a jump. Right now, their ships are limited to really, really slow by galactic standards. And they're immediately jumping from basically 0 to infinity.
But there are a lot of
Well-
things I'm willing to take on faith in Star Trek. This episode's premise is just too far.
To be fair,
just
we
too
went
far.
we went to
Makes
warp
perfect sense.
before we went to impulse.
I'd rather that he didn't occupy every space in the universe. That sounds very destructive.
It
Well,
makes
yeah.
sense.
The
Among other
entire
things.
warp scale has always been logarithmic, so it
Yeah.
makes preeminent sense that warp 10 would be all points in space at the same time.
Do you think Tom Paris' Tinder profile says he's visited? Well, he loves to travel, and he's visited literally every star system.
In the known universe.
Yes.
Known and unknown.
You know, this episode reminds me of those movies where they blow the idea that we only use N% of our brains out to the entire premise of a movie, and it's all just based on a wrong fact. Like, this is just based on bad
33% of a
Star Trek,
stoplight?
That's canon in Star Trek. Like,
No,
remember,
I mean-
Star Trek exists in the mind of Benny Russell. So if Benny Russell believes it, it's
Yeah.
canon.
Okay.
Is that the kid from the end of, what's it called? St. Elsewhere?
We learned this incredible fact in season 7, episode 1 of Deep Space Nine.
Oh,
Dr.
okay,
Whitecock,
sorry.
This
they're
is
waiting
why-
for him in the
this is
isolation
I was
why-
room.
going with a way deeper cut than that.
This is
Everything looks good. You say that, Tom. Is he gonna crush the title drop? He did it. Oh, Balana got the we crossed the threshold. Tom only got to approach the threshold.
damn. It was recording of the holodeck. Can you believe that?
I can actually, because he's not a lizard.
Either way, Tom's journey ends back in New Zealand.
It's a lovely place, I assume.
It's where they filmed Lord of the Rings.
Is a flight plan really relevant if you're everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the flight plan? Forward
If you're
Yes.
everywhere
and
you
then
cut
everywhere.
the engine, do you end up at a random location? Do you end up everywhere? Did you like transport yourself?
Bearing infinity,
Tom
mark
could go to
infinity.
Earth right now.
He can just leave Voyager Pint, just pops to Earth, and he's just like, "Hey guys,
Like, hey,
what's up?"
they're alive. Here's their coordinates.
Why don't they just
Yeah.
2-Vix everyone together, take the Warp 10 shuttle back home, then de-lizardify the 2-Vix, then un-2-Vix the super 2-Vix, and
What's really annoying about this episode, like, you know how they go up to like warp 9, and then they go 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on.
Sure.
The scale, as soon as you get to around warp 9, goes like ridiculous, which means when they say
Mhm.
0.1 to 0.2, and then the same amount of time from 2 to 3,
Yeah.
that scale is completely different.
Also, the
So
jump from
they-
warp
they go
9.9
like
going back
10
to
9,
times
9,
the
9.
acceleration from one to the other, and it's just really annoying.
Yeah.
the energy to go
Yeah.
from warp 9.9 to warp 10 is literally infinity.
Yeah, and they go from warp 9.9 to warp 10 in the same amount of time that they did from point 8 to point 9.
Oh yeah, that's BS.
But my biggest issue with this episode isn't really the warp scale or the lizards. It's all pretty entertaining, but what's with Tom's robe? I don't think this color flatters him.
him? Absolutely not.
He strikes me
Um,
more as a warm color kind of guy.
He's got
Hmm.
those periwinkle eyes.
Well, he usually has the warm colors when he goes to the holodeck, so.
I like wears silver. The Captain Pro.
The threshold?
I like him in the prison
threshold.
jumpsuit.
God, how many times are they going to say threshold? I think we're at 3 so far. No, we've had more. Maybe 4.
He's like the Chuck Yeager of humanity. Well, Chuck Yeager was already.
A Jaeger?
And Star Trek piloting is just pushing a few buttons.
The computer does all the work. The pilot's just there to feel good about themselves.
Hmm.
Like, oh, he's a brilliant pilot. Actually, no, he's just really quick at pressing buttons.
He has really good
he
micro,
has
really
like
high
190
APM.
words per minute.
I think like he designed the propulsion thing too, though. That's why he's flying.
Tom Paris is like the biggest Marisu in all of Star
But
Trek.
he's a pilot, not an engineer. How can he do that?
He is an engineer. He does everything. What can't
He went to
Tom do?
Starfleet
piloting
Academy. He knows
engineering
many
doctor.
things.
He built the Delta Flyer.
Somehow.
He built the Delta Flyer.
Yeah.
He's assistant to the Doctor and second in command of sickbay, essentially. He's also the
Does he
pilot
ever take
of
command of
everything.
Voyager?
I'm sure he does once or
Um,
twice.
No.
I'd
How
be
does
surprised if
Harry
it's
get
never
command of
7
Voyager and
seasons.
not Tom?
Harry does the night shift when everyone else is asleep.
Yeah, but like we've seen Harry in command before, but we've never seen Tom in command.
Really, never.
I guess
don't-
Tom
I
has
just
enough
I don't
jobs.
remember it happening.
He's already working
Yeah, maybe
4
I'd be
jobs.
shocked.
Yeah, have a look. I don't recall it ever happening, but it could definitely have happened.
I can Google Tom Paris in command of Voyager, but
Would that be spoily?
I do like that the
What
shuttle
should
is called the
happen in the
shuttlecraft
next
Cochrane because Cochrane broke the warp barrier and they're breaking a transwarp barrier.
And it just happens to be one of the shuttles that they haven't blown up.
No,
yet.
they just built this one specific for this. Because they
Did they?
build shuttles like every day.
But do we know
And I
what that
think the
is?
modified shuttle. It's the normal
This
appearance for a
does
shuttle.
actually
right?
look different from the other shuttles we've seen. Like on the interior, there's a different set from the other Type 2/9s.
He was designing
apparently-
with Harry to begin.
Apparently, Tom Paris was in command of Voyager in the episode where Chakotay met Kazon Nog.
Oh,
Thank you.
is that
Okay,
because he
so
was
now-
the only person on the ship? By any
Now we're gonna
chance?
break the
I
barrier
don't
for
know.
real. This is not a holodeck simulation, folks.
Sensors?
Sensors.
Why would you say that?
I hope everyone is seated at
Is
home.
it
Approaching the threshold, there we go.
9.95, but Voyager can do but 9.975.
Yeah.
So
So maybe
Exceeding. He hasn't
if,
exceeded yet. He's still exceeding.
That was
Still
super
in the process of exceeding
anticlimactic.
it.
maybe if like going to warp 10 is too dangerous, you just go slightly below warp 10, which is
well,
still enough to
why wouldn't
get
you
you
just go at
across
what
the galaxy in, like, a minute.
9.999?
That's
Like
very good point.
Does that still a
Getting
finite
home
speed?
in 30 seconds is way worse than getting home instantly.
because I could literally go home in like
No.
Oh,
a month.
doesn't
or
matter.
two
Tom's
in the
gone. Tom has
shuttlecraft.
ceased to exist.
Yeah,
Warp
Thomas is conscious,
9.99
maybe he'll be
wouldn't get
back.
you home in a reasonable in a lifetime.
Also,
maybe
wait.
the
There-
warp drive is like controlled by like a dial or like a pedal on the floor or something, and no one can hold it like precisely at the right in that sweet spot between like warp 9 and warp 10.
So
So we're
everyone on
going
the
with
bridge right now
control
is
warp speed with a
surprised.
pedal.
Everyone is surprised that they lost Tom Paris on long-range sensors. But what did they think was going to happen when he went to infinite speed?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, nothing about this episode makes
Good
sense.
question.
Imagine being at every point in the universe simultaneously, and like, what are the odds that you get spat out basically exactly where you started?
Yeah.
And we're
And what are
lucky.
the odds that he didn't just hit Voyager and kill everyone?
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. This is one of my favorite Doctor moments, just in the show in general. I don't see why not. Thank you,
I
Doctor.
remember that.
He leans over. He looks like he's gonna hypo spray. Nah, just yell at him. It's fine.
Early Doctor is amazing.
Yeah, this show, I don't know. Robert Ricardo had to do some crazy stuff on Voyager, but he
Really
always
did.
does it as best as you can, you know.
Yeah, he's good. When I say early Doctor, does an awesome job with more depth to him too.
So you guys have seen a moment of human history. How do you feel?
Yeah.
I mean, the Voyager.
It's the Voyager.
I denounce you.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the
you
Deep
should
Space
denounce
Nine.
Tom Paris.
Who denounces who for what?
I denounce everyone who says the Voyager. including
just
Tom
said it.
in the
Paris.
first
Tom
place.
Paris.
Including Tom
But
Paris.
Ryan, now
Especially
you
Tom
gotta
Paris.
announce yourself.
I will say this: he couldn't have been everywhere.
They never used that. They never omitted the article in any other starship name before this.
But that you don't call
And they
Voyager
did
the
it for
Voyager.
Enterprise as well.
Chronologically, they do, but not in airing order.
So if Tom Paris has Tom Paris canonically been inside every single woman in the universe?
Don't
Sure.
make it weird.
No.
Well,
It's,
I mean-
it's gonna get weird enough on its own, yeah.
He's freaking.
if you travel at any speed inside warp 10, does that mean you're traveling between universes?
I'd say only
Suddenly,
within one
Spider-Man pops
universe.
out.
He's like our.
Crazy how
could-
they were able to like invent a propulsion system, like the most fastest and sophisticated propulsion system imaginable,
I
with
mean-
the staff of like a generous like maximum of like 60 engineers working part-time on this.
I mean, doesn't this episode
and
essentially
they
get
didn't even
written
bother
out
to
of the
like
canon?
throw a probe on it, you know?
Yeah.
How much could a probe or sensors possibly record when they're at infinity?
Well, they recorded everything, clearly.
How?
Well, no, but, like you could record as much as you could and then bring it back and store it somewhere and then send it back again.
Or at least just send some red
Look,
shirt,
she's looking
not
through the
one of the
data
main
now.
cast members.
See, Balana's looking through the stuff.
How could it
There you go,
record 5 billion
billion
gigabytes of
record.
information? How?
Well, their hard drives
Oh,
are that big.
It's
Every
Carthonasi.
point in the universe.
Hey, Carth.
He obviously learned how to do that. Either that or he
Yeah.
got infinitely lucky.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe the default setting on the Warp 10 is it spits you back out always where you started.
Yeah,
But,
it's
but very
it's-
luckily
That's
pointing the
false.
opposite direction towards the ship you get left.
Well, we don't know. Maybe
Maybe Voyager
Yeah,
just went to
maybe
the
it-
other side of where he was, and he looked like he was on the other side.
Yeah, it looks like Tom just did 7 of 9's entire job for her
yeah.
3
So
seasons early.
So now do we know
You-
everything about the Dominion and the
Yeah.
Borg and
Yeah.
do we have spies?
and the
Did we spy on the
Andromeda.
Romulans? What's the deal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. Everything they know it now.
I mean, he
Tom
said
Ha-
he remembers home, and it's like,
Maybe-
Tom
well,
maybe this
Paris is now
episode-
the depository of all wisdom in the universe.
and he knows the lives of all 14 billion people
Well-
on Earth.
Balana, you should know that not everything that smells good tastes good. You don't eat a candle, you don't eat vanilla extract by itself.
Some things that smell bad taste good.
New fan theory, guys. When he went on the shuttle, Tom Paris is not like learned everything in the universe. You know, he saw it all, and he's like transcended to godhood like Wesley did, except that like he realized that nothing's more perfect than goofing around on Voyager. And he
Right.
could solve like all of their problems. He just
I mean, if he
doesn't
went back
want
to Earth, he'd have to go back to beautiful New Zealand.
And this was the rest of the gods trying to punish him for that decision.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the Barclay episode, the Nth Degree, when the aliens take him to the center of the galaxy and they reform Barclay's mind to their genius level. What if when you go to Warp 10, you visit that like alien amphibian homeworld, and they like reform you into like the alien size, and like so basically those are the preservers from TNG, the Chase. And our ultimate end as humanoids is these like we go back into the water, and that's where he went, the land of Warp 10.
So on an unrelated note, someone brought up a very important question. If the sensors recorded everything, did they record, and do they now know, why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Or how many licks does it
Obviously.
take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Yeah.
So, does this
Important
mean that
question.
Does this mean you can store all of the knowledge in the universe?
We already
just
knew
500
42.
gigaquads?
No, I
So,
think that's
yes.
all that the
Thank God
shuttle
there
could
was that one.
record. Like that's probably the shuttle's maximum recording.
He filled up the
capacity.
hard drive.
Yeah, you need gills.
Is this the
Tom.
part where he has gills? Yeah.
Is he doing the Cardassian neck trick?
Why are you devolving when you're going to warp 10? I guess they
He's
just
not
have to show-
devolving, he's evolving to the true
evolving.
final stage of human evolution, the salamander.
Because the premise wasn't flimsy enough.
If you use the
You know,
transporter.
You know, I think if you're really like the highest form of life in the universe, you should be able to not die when you're in like an oxygen-rich environment. That's like rookie shit.
When you hit warp 10, you just go back underwater.
What are you yelling about, Tom?
We know what he's
He's
yelling about.
upset that he's in the Voyager episode Threshold.
It's like pandas.
This is the only
eating-
episode to earn an Emmy, right?
To earn a what?
An Emmy?
I mean, there were
Did
plenty
it?
of nominations. You're saying
The
it was-
This is
makeup,
the
right?
best episode of Voyager, and you just didn't know it.
I mean, everyone
only
gets an
only
Emmy.
from a makeup standpoint.
Outstanding individual achievement in makeup. Yep, 1996 Emmy. Nice.
Oh, it's the only one for all of Star Trek, right?
His makeup is great. No, not for all of Star Trek.
That sounds right. It
No.
did get a Peabody. Next Generation did.
Okay. TNG got one for makeup.
For the fish people.
Yeah, it looks like they got a fair few. Art direction, costumes.
Yeah.
More makeup.
It's like the episode itself exists, just like how with Warp 10 you exist everywhere in the universe at the same time. This episode exists on like every range of the critical spectrum at the same time, where it's both the best and worst episode at the same time.
It's true. The
I mean,
makeup is
the
phenomenal.
makeup is genuinely really good. I mean, I'm not gonna
He looks amphibious.
disagree with that.
He kind of looks like
the-
he's being assimilated.
Yeah. But
Being
it's way more
assimilated
vain.
by the Salamander people.
Yeah, but it is the first contact.
But the
vain.
salamander people are us. He doesn't have tear ducts, he's a hologram. What do you want, Tom?
Yeah, but I do want gills.
Tom loves
Why
green.
Why did I lose gills? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because
Well,
they
his gills
require a bunch
fucking
of energy to
suck.
maintain if
Because
you
you have
don't
to keep
use
them
them.
moist and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks.
And you
Like,
have to live
imagine having
underwater
to
where
keep your
everything's all,
gills
like,
moist, or
wet.
else you die.
If you want gills so
suck.
much, why don't you go walk back into the ocean?
Thanks, Ryan.
We left for a reason. That place sucked. The place was dead anyway.
wasn't too bad. You just had to lay your eggs and hope all your children were hatching.
Pepperoni!
Pepperoni. I have my pepperoni. Does everyone have their pepperoni ready?
Pepperoni.
I've got some. I can't really... I mean, you can probably, like, hear the crinkle of the bag of pepperoni.
Oh, you're oh, man.
What?
I have not gotten enough sleep lately.
What?
Your Rocky Horror Picture
Did you
Show
say
is what I'm
release
trying
the
to say.
force field?
They can't release the force field, can they? Because this area is filled with, like, acid.
Yep.
Acid
Yeah,
air.
that's what Paris wants. Paris wants him to release the force field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that Kess will die.
Sorry, I was focusing on the pepperoni.
Yeah, and then he said release the force field. But with
What
inferior
if
wording.
they made Voyager go to warp 10 and then they get to Earth and then they just like write down like how to turn everyone back from being a lizard on like
Yeah, after
It looks
right
like a
after this
mobile
episode,
emitter.
they solve the lizardification, so they can just warp 10
Yeah.
and Doctor can cure everyone. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but until then, you're a pepperoni eating lizard. So
You
Which is
have
fine.
a little bit of grace period. You have a few hours.
the lizards are just eating slices of pepperoni fed by the nurses.
He's like a frog. He like grabs him with his tongue.
I can't believe I almost missed Threshold.
You can't miss
Yeah,
Threshold.
I was shocked. I was like, oh boy, shoot, I missed the first 10 minutes of Threshold.
I was like, I can't believe this is the first episode of today.
I like how the Voyager watch-alongs, usually we have like 4 people, because Voyager's not all that popular. But here, we're almost full for Threshold.
Oh, I'm 10 minutes late.
It's an institution.
Ryan, did you just say the Voyager watch-alongs?
That's not the... The is applying to watch-along, not Voyager. Voyager in this context is an adjective.
It's the Voyager watch-along.
It's the Voyager.
The Voyager. Well,
It's the watch-along.
Don't let Neelix see that.
As well.
Oh, if Neelix walked in just there, he might break up with you and your life will substantially improve.
Yeah.
Notice how like no one else is sad that Tom is a lizard or like amphibious.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to-
not even
No one cares.
Not even Harry is in this episode. Like, it seems to care that much.
Is Harry
They're
even in
supposed
this
to be,
episode?
like, best
Yeah,
buds.
he was.
You know what else I just thought? Penguins and ostriches would probably love to fly, or even chickens.
But, well, chickens can fly.
The
Little.
doctor just
A little
leave him
bit.
on
A
the
little
bio
bit,
bed.
but it's like teasing them.
Penguins can fly underwater.
Why does
The
the
doctor-
doctor work with
But
the
only
lights
if you
turned
have
off?
I can
Wheels.
fly on land.
The doctor doesn't need light.
Save power.
Why does the doctor need to, once again, why does the doctor need to use a computer that he himself is a part of?
Look, there's a moment in Isaac Asimov's Foundation, but the reasons the androids wear makeup and they look pretty for us is so that we're psychologically reassured. Okay, you don't need to see him just staring at a screen and like lasers out of his
Why
eyes.
not? We got
etching
that
it.
scene of Data just staring at a wall composing his files, and it was great.
Yeah, true. I always love the Data like fingers flying scenes or like when he's processing information fast.
Like when Data, like in his free time, Data just sits down at his computer and types 3,000 words a minute and listens to 5 symphonies at once.
Now, Tom is really lucky they didn't shoot him out a torpedo during that time.
Oh yeah.
Well, I did find it a little bit confusing that they just left him on the bio bed, dead.
Well, they can't
Like,
have the
that's a
funeral.
good point.
It was
Yeah,
too
where else
late
you
to
gonna
have
put
the
him?
funeral.
Well,
Everyone
the doctor wanted to
wanted
do
dead.
some
They'll just do
experiments
it the
on him
next
first.
morning.
Oh, it's Karth. Hi, Karth.
Oh my god, Hogan. I
Nobody
love him.
cared.
You just type
He
in
looks
those
like-
3 keys over and over again.
It looks really familiar.
He also plays Jiminy Cricket in... I don't know what it's called. It's a show where like there's real people playing Disney characters in a village together.
Am I
Sounds like
remembering this
something I
guy
would
correctly?
not
Is this
necessarily
the guy
enjoy.
that just has a crush?
Once
on
Upon a Time.
Seska?
That's what it's called.
And
Yeah, that's him.
There's a crush
I
on
would,
Oh, once
Seska.
upon a
I
time,
would
okay.
definitely give the green light to giving the Kazon the Warp 10 technology.
Yeah.
Problem
We could turn them all
solved.
into salamanders.
yeah, but what if they also figure out how to recover, but then are smart enough to just
They're-
do that?
They're not.
They're really not, but
They're not going to be smart enough to cure it.
But
Fair
they might
enough.
give it to someone who's smart enough.
They're all going to go to Warp 10, drop out somewhere in the middle of nowhere between 2 galaxies, and just become lizards inside their ships.
Maybe the Kazon would all turn into lizards, and then the think tank would come by and cure them. But then you don't really need cured, do you? Because it's the final stage of your evolution. It's your final form.
Yeah, I'm not complaining if I'm in a warm saline planet.
Yeah, maybe they're actually like really fast thinking and like they're actually superior life forms, and they were just downgraded when they quote unquote fixed them.
I'm not doing a Voyager some kind of counter because it's literally like 3 per episode, and I don't want to be hovering over the button that much.
It's
Star Trek in
literally
general,
3
and I
per
think that would be
episode.
really fun. We
What,
need some kind
accelerating?
of. We need 47.
47 is on Tuesday, but just for
Or how
TNG,
about-
because there's a lot.
References to genetic engineering. How about that? Because
He's turning in a Neelix.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
he
little
does
bit.
look like Neelix at a glance.
because I'm thinking here, like when we achieve full genetic engineering, we'll just choose to become amphibians and go back
You
into
know,
a nice.
choose to
I say
become
we-
Helix, the
I don't want to
pinnacle
go
of
down the genetic
evolution.
ascension path. I want to go down synthetic ascension path. Just replace all these stupid fallible meat organs with metal. Get rid of the meat. We don't need that.
Yes.
Where's the
Yes.
beast?
Become a technomancer. Become an Adeptus Mechanicus.
By the way, his head is moving, so the makeup on this
Yeah.
episode is really incredible.
We're all concerned about you because we don't
That
want to
is
lose our
good.
best pilot and nothing else.
And once again, flying the Voyager
Let's
is
try
not
to
very
pilot.
hard.
The
When
flesh will
when
fail
they're in battle,
Orion.
it's not like they do evasive maneuvers. They just sit there and take it. What do they need a pilot?
Like his teeth are messed up too.
Is it actually? Can anyone think of an instance where someone shot at the Voyager and missed?
Why are you all saying the Voyager? What did I
Because
miss
he's
out
fishing
on?
for a ban.
It's
It's
something
a
that Tom
Voyager.
Ferris does
And I'm
early
willing
in
to
the
give it.
show. I think in the episode
So-
Parallax.
I have a reason for them saying the Voyager, right? If you think about it, every time Janeway introduces the Starship Voyager, she says the Federation Starship Voyager, which implies that she is saying
The-
the Voyager.
No, the is
with
modifying
the-
starship. It's
between-
not modifying
Actually say
Voyager.
it
It's
that
modifying
way.
starship.
The word the
It's the
modifies-
Federation.
It's
No,
like
it's not the.
It's not the Federation though. It's
The
the
doesn't go in
Starship.
Federation
It's
there.
the-
it's the country
Starship
Nicaragua. The is modifying country, not Nicaragua.
Exactly.
Did you say the country inside Nicaragua?
No, I
Well,
said the
it's
country
itself?
Nicaragua.
The is an adverb.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Technically,
So
there
glad
is a country
Did you
inside
try the Taco
Nicaragua. It's
Bell?
called Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Why
And
did
by
you
the
just get a ship and name it the Nicaragua? That would solve that.
Ryan, did
glad
you
we
try the
could-
Taco Bell wings?
What about when they say
No, I went
the
to Taco
USS
Bell and
Voyager?
then I had an episode of Star Trek playing on my phone. I wasn't watching, just listening, so I was content to wait. But I was literally there 20 minutes and it didn't move forward one person, so I left.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You don't just order on your phone and go pick it up
I did.
when it's
And-
ready?
There was still a line and it moved forward not one person in 20
Uh,
minutes, so I left.
I
Wow.
don't like this.
Ew.
That seems
I did not
incorrect.
expect that. That was kind
This is
of
actually like one of the better things they do in this episode, like in terms of technical proficiency.
Well, they got
That's what the
tongue.
Emmy's for.
What, they got him to shut
Yeah.
up?
Even even the smile he gives at the end is really like
Yeah, he's so
Crazy.
happy he pulled out his own tongue. He's like, isn't that gross?
I'm an amphibian now.
He should probably be freaking out
I
a
really
little
wish
bit.
this
Maybe
had
we
happened-
erase all this from his memory after the episode.
I really wish this had
they
happened
do,
in the
actually.
Emmys.
Or the.
This is really body horror.
Yeah, this episode is just incredible.
Yeah,
We
keep
watched this for
distracting these
Halloween, right?
arguments about the word the.
the,
The USS Voyager.
The
He
body
said the
horror.
word urgent. You can't make the j sound without a tongue. Maybe he still has a little bit of a tongue.
Well, I can see his tongue, but yeah.
he's the pinnacle of human evolution. He's the pinnacle of evolution. He can speak without a tongue.
It's also clear.
God, the watch along
Why don't you
the
give
watch
him
along
a
voice chat is now full
fire?
just because it's threshold. This is stupid.
Hey Argos. I'm gonna jump out because
Well, you
Well,
don't like threshold
someone-
anymore?
well if someone else joins I'll jump out.
But-
I
okay.
think this is a lot. This episode's a lot.
It sure is.
Like even like breaking your speech as an actor and that smile he gave when he spat out his tongue, like he really got into this role.
Yeah.
I am
This is
actually eating
really a-
Taco Bell right now.
So this is really a moment for him to shine in acting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I suspect it's a good acting in a horrific script.
Yeah.
No, you know what? It moved the sci-fi plot. Everyone knows we can go to Warp 10. So you know what? Like it or hate it, this is one of the most important Trek episodes.
It didn't move it. They never use it ever again.
Yeah. They actually explicitly write out this episode.
Actually, it actually did the reverse, where now if whenever you need to have a ship go faster than warp 9, you have to get all picky and you have to be like, well, you see, warp 9.7.7 is actually 10 times faster than warp 9.7.6.
Even by the
even though
32nd
it
century,
doesn't make any
Starfleet doesn't go to
sense.
warp 10.
Okay,
No, but
here's
there's
the
a warp
thing.
10
Here's the thing,
lizard
right?
in lower decks.
There
Yeah,
is.
there's
So
two of them.
if the doctor comes up with a cure for this, why don't you just use it and then cure everybody on the other end?
Yeah, exactly.
That'd
That's
make
what
up-
I said.
I think it's a valid point though. See,
Yeah,
it didn't
found
move
yet
the
another
plot.
problem
It
with
took
this,
warp 10 out of the picture.
Oh,
And I
look
think
at his
it's-
little. He has little like horns or hairs coming out of his cheek. Those are going to turn into like axolotl whiskers at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh, attention to detail.
Disgusting.
Yeah, like all of the makeup that they do with him is
He gets
really good,
catfished.
and they do like 5
He's not a
whole
catfish.
instances of it.
If he was a
Like,
catfish,
even-
someone would come along and pan fry him.
Mm.
Neelix this whole time is like in the kitchen.
He's strong.
Like,
Neelix cooks the children.
Oh, when a crew member
we
is
can't
near
leave
death and the
orphans.
doctor can't save them, you put them through warp 10, turn them into a fish person, then eat them.
You know, evolution is really interesting. Science in general, like we create categories and then things defy those categories, and then we wonder why we have things that defy the categories, but it's only because we created the categories.
Poor
So like
doctor, I was being left out.
a platypus is a mammal that lays eggs with a bill, and we're just like, why is it like that? And it's like
And it's-
evolution
and
is
it's
not
venomous.
concerned.
And it's
Right.
venomous.
The platypus is just God screwing
it's
with
a level
us.
3 security alert when I don't
I
think
think
we
it's
ever
a-
see another level 3 security alert in the entire series.
They were
Are you
trying to
sure
make
it's a
the
mammal
screen
and not a
glitch.
marsupial?
Yeah, it's a marsupial
You're a
because it has a
marsupial.
pouch.
Platypus is just hero brain.
What?
But marsupials are mammals, though.
Man, Salamander Tom Paris like was able to disable the ship more quickly than the Borg.
How good did the
Like,
phaser just
one
not work on him,
salamander
or
is-
was nobody able to hit Fish Paris?
She missed.
But what about all those
Amphibians
people in
and fish.
engineering?
I assume at first they were trying to avoid that because he's supposed to be like all sick and stuff, and they don't want to accidentally kill him.
Yeah, no,
Just
and no one
shoot
wants
him.
to touch the genetically
He's
deformed.
gone down
person.
fish man.
One Salamander Tom Paris was able to do more damage more quickly than like 20 Borg drones.
Superior life form.
Well, he has evolved.
And he-
Or
he-
like
And now he has a
fluid-
friend.
Yeah, like
or like
like, that
species
was, like,
8472 from
Frankensteinish.
fluidic space. Nah, that's gonna
And he
Take a
has a
bit.
shiny warp 10 tape
Purposely
player.
evolving her.
Yes.
his hands are.
He's going to
amputees.
evolve her so he has a friend.
This is pretty sinister.
I would have done like the Hitman thing where you like why stop at one? Like get like 12 people and shove them all in the closet and get going.
Start a salamander colony. How
If
are you
I
going to
was
follow
the cap-
follow them when they can go to warp 10?
If
No, don't
I
match.
was-
Overtake. What are you doing?
Yeah. Why were you not already at maximum speed?
You're right.
They're never going to be in range if you're matching speed, Chakotay.
Yeah.
This is why you got captured.
Ote is just like fuck it. Photon torpedo. I'm the captain now.
Doesn't Tom
Keep
Keep
Paris
it
just
sensor
use
lock
the
as
warp
long as you
10?
can. 2 seconds later.
Why doesn't he just use warp 10 to go somewhere that's out of range of Voyager?
He just did.
No. Like they find him eventually, so like he could have just gone across the galaxy to a place where they
No,
couldn't find
he's
him.
just gone to warp 10.
He could have gone to another galaxy. He
Universe.
could have gone
Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah. How do they find him? I don't get it. It's stupid.
That's a good
They
point.
find him very quickly, actually. That's how.
Maybe warp 10 is like some sort of like placebo speed where it feels like you're going really fast, but in reality it's only like a slight improvement.
Oh, and don't forget that supposedly they have sensor logs of every single point in the universe simultaneously, and this never comes up again.
Hey, I'm happy
No,
about that.
well,
That
it's only
stupid
sensor
sphere
logs of
data can go
everything in the universe
screw
that they
itself.
were able to record.
The sphere data at least made sense why it existed.
Right, but it's just the fact that they lean on it for everything just gets real old real fast.
Maybe once you get to
The
warp
shuttle
10,
wouldn't
you
have enough
actually
memory.
get transported into like
So-
a dimension with like some aliens in it or something, and they're like, "Oh boy, what are we gonna?" And they're just like absolutely hilarious, and they're just like, "Oh boy, what are we gonna do with this person who's like wandered into our domain?" And we're like, "Give him computer data and expose him to salamander goo."
This episode implies that mankind is going to evolve into giant salamanders, as opposed to
Reject
omnipotent beings
Starfleet.
of
Return
pure
to
light.
fish.
They're not really giant. They're pretty small.
Right, because
pretty
evolution
big
is a
for
straightforward
salamanders.
single process, not
Yeah.
something determined by your environment and.
Okay, so is that
No,
Tom or
certainly
is that
not.
Janeway?
How come we
Who is
don't
that?
see salamander people in Discovery?
They really heavily imply in TNG that we're gonna at some point ascend to some type of higher
I mean,
being.
this whole episode gets
And,
retconned, so none of it matters.
Yeah,
Get
fish,
retconned?
I mean-
monkey, human,
Do they ever
slimy
explicitly
man,
retcon?
salamander,
Maybe,
Q.
Tom Paris says right out, "I've never been, done transwarp." In a transwarp in a later episode.
Really?
Yes. They wrote
Alright,
this one episode
guys.
out.
Need proof.
One salamander person. Oh wow, these are.
Why did we
was able
stun
to-
these? Well, we did it to some
Salamander
fish
was
Paris.
totally
the
the gun.
entire ship. Now there's two of them. Let's send down Tuvok. and
There's salamanders.
two
They're
other
coming right
people.
for us.
You
How
all
are there
seen it.
two of them?
Yeah, there's two because there's Tom and now Janeway.
How did
getting
the
out of hand.
offspring grow and be born so quickly? It's only been like a few hours, right?
That's part
The
of.
evolved version
Yeah,
makes it
they're
faster.
evolved.
Evolved.
Back to the
No,
swamp.
it still requires energy and biology, like biological
to swamp.
processes to take, a certain amount of time.
You're not going to put it in your log. It's going to have never happened.
Yes.
So they just leave the salamander babies behind on the planet.
They'll
Right.
probably die.
They seeded a planet with a new species.
Yeah.
And these species have
It's
all
like,
learned
it's
from
like
human
the
beings.
Simpsons
We had,
Australian
two,
episode. They're gonna
I
just
think they were
destroy the
guinea pigs.
entire
They were named
ecosystem.
Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin. And so
Bill, we
just like
can't
Huh?
we can't hear you very
Bill,
well.
you're very muffled.
Your hand's covering your microphone or something.
Bill, did you just pull
He's
out
in the
your own
1980s
tongue
right now.
in your transformation into a salamander?
um,
Oh wait, we're gonna get a great terrible quote.
God,
yeah.
it's coming.
So how does that work? How does destroying the amphibian DNA turn him back into human?
What
It
makes
works
it
very
think
well,
it was
thanks for
your
asking.
idea?
Yeah, none of this episode.
And the shades made it.
I
Janeway.
remember.
Mic check.
One of them crossed the threshold. We don't know which one.
Bill, you're
Hey.
really wait. Bill's trying to check his mic. It's really quiet, Bill.
Mic check.
Good enough.
Hello.
Hello.
You're, I can hear you. It's just very low quality.
So there's this thing that mountain climbers get
Threshold, he said.
called summit depression, and a lot of times mountain climbers who climb Mount Everest afterwards, they feel really depressed because they're like, now what do? I climbed the tallest mountain in the world. There's nothing left to do.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
sure
like,
there are
Tom
harder
Paris
mountains
right now,
to
he's
climb
like-
than Everest. Come on.
Well, they say K2 is more technical, but anyway. So like he's traveled warp 10, right? and there's like nowhere else for him to go in his career, as a pilot, right?
Well,
So
it's
now he's like, what do I
literally nowhere
do?
else. He's
Just
been
one more
everywhere.
reason why they erase it from everyone's memory.
He's been everywhere.
The time
He's literally been
began.
everywhere.
Tom Paris
Yeah.
now holds the
Literally been
record
there.
for fastest speed and fastest gestation period in Starfleet.
There is a taller mountain if you count the mountain below sea level. That's, I think it goes to like 11 or 13,000 feet above sea level, but most of the mountain is below sea level.
So, like
Fun
Olympic
fact.
Mons.
Fun fact.
That's-
Like as tall as a mountain can get on Earth, where its erosion equals like the amount it rises every year, because it reaches like that theoretical maximum you could have almost.
All right, everyone, queue up for the next episode. The next episode is Meld.
Oh,
I need to go on a juice cleanse after Threshold. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know. I expect like most of you to leave because we're done with Threshold, but that's okay. Threshold is what everyone was here for. I'm aware of this.
I gotta fill out internship applications, or else no one will ever want to employ me.
All right, 1 minute to Meld.
What the hell?
Goodbye.
Unpaid internships?
Yeah, wait. Alright, so it's too late to show the freaking salamander goo video?
Yes, it was always too late.
Alright.
Underwater
See ya.
mountains are way taller. than
Highly
continental
recommended. See
mountains,
everybody.
but what about
Bye.
You can put it in chat if you
continental
want.
How tall is the mountain on Mars, the big one?
It's, I don't know, it's
Folks.
insanely tall, but it's also incredibly shallow, so it's just like a walk.
breadth? How can it be tall and shallow?
It's
As
not
in
pointy,
really
it just
big.
is spread out over a
Massive
massive
in terms
area.
of- Yeah. So like the base diameter is
Oh.
absolutely massive.
Okay, you mean it's
It's
not
a
much
very
of a-
gentle slope, but it goes forever.
Which mountain
Okay.
in the solar system has the steepest
But for now,
incline?
hang on, press play in 5,
Probably one of ours.
4, 3,
Posted.
2, 1, play.
Posted in general.
I don't think that's to scale.
It's big.
That doesn't look right.
Well,
No, it's the first image that came up from Googling
It's
it.
like Mars has a burst zip.
Yeah, all
Is
the
that
other
really-
images seem to be identical to it, so it must be right.
that's a big mountain.
But they could all be equally wrong.
That's
I
like an
guess.
inverse crater.
Alright, let me look up
that Ricky,
Olympus
by the way?
Mons on NASA.
Yeah, I can't find a single image that doesn't look like that.
That'll be the
so-
first Discord meetup to climb Olympus Mons.
Yeah, it does. I would not like to. It's too much mountain.
It's quite a large mountain. That mountain's probably bigger than, I don't know, Europe.
So Olympus Mons is 25 kilometers high.
That's a pretty decent height for a mountain.
Here's a size comparison.
Ha,
Mauna Kea is the one that Robo was talking about.
Mars doesn't have a sea level,
I mean, sure.
right?
This
but-
is when Paris starts to act up and piss off Chakotay.
So this
So
is
he could
supposed to
join
be
the
like
Kazon.
not allowed, and they get on Tom's case for this. But what about everyone else participating? Aren't they also being bad?
Yes,
think
but
it's
he is
Well,
the
Tom's
Janeway
the
and Paris.
ringleader.
I think we
To
need
be
to
honest,
land
it
one of
seems
those
kinda
rovers
harmless.
in that little hole in the middle of this mountain.
little hole.
Why?
Yes, this hole the size of New York. We need to land one in there.
Why do you want to land in whole New York?
Because if you think about it, the top of that mountain has been preserved even more than anything else on the surface because there's literally like, I know NASA's atmosphere is thin, but it's going to be like non-existent at that altitude.
What if it lands and it's just regolith, and then the rover disappears under miles of dust?
I mean, that's been the case for all of them. We don't know what it's going to be like within that.
I wouldn't start there as my
Wait,
point.
why is there
like
no
in the mouth of
Calrec
an obvious
season?
volcano.
Well, it's not
We
like
can
you can
celebrate
get there
Calrec.
any other way. We've started other places. I'm saying we need to get one there now. We've done a couple rovers already.
Well, maybe you should do it.
Fine, give me $1 billion.
No, I'm not giving you a small loan.
I mean, that's how NASA does it. Small
Okay,
loan
hang
from
on.
the
So
government.
when is Calrec? When is this episode taking place? When in the year?
Stardate something.
I'm on the Vulcan
47936.
calendar.
Because people worked out when Captain Picard Day is. So someone must have
is
worked
it-
out when Calrec is, and we can celebrate Calrec.
When is Captain Picard Day?
I don't know offhand, but I can look it up.
It would make sense that if it was either a
It's June
day that-
16th.
And what's Captain Picard's birthday?
I don't know.
But when's Commander Riker Day?
Whoa.
It's July 16th.
Keep
It
your
should be.
clothes on, Neelix.
Yeah, especially around Kess, please.
Especially his shoes. Does he wear shoes? Like typically?
Yes, he
Does
wears
just walk
shoes.
around
He's
like
a
a hobbit?
hobbit with hairy feet.
He's what you get if you mix a Khajiit or whatever it's called in Elder Scrolls and a hobbit.
Khajiit.
Khajiit.
Ah, Gizargo.
If you've got the coins, Khajiit. Oh, they didn't make you my. This is supposed to be a supreme, and it's just a regular one. How disappointing.
Okay.
It was my taco pass taco.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He got food from Taco
Taco
Bell,
Best.
and he's cheating on Burger. He seems to just obsess over one restaurant at a time.
I see.
He's cheating on Burger King.
Why are you cheating on Burger King?
Dude, I went to Wendy's every day for lunch for like 12 years.
Why?
Because he's a crazy
Because
person.
the manager would give me free food. Why would you like? All right, if you had to
I think I would
pay
get
for
sick of
food
it before
every
we hit
day-
the 12-year mark, let's be honest.
If I'm at a point where the manager knows me so well they're giving me free food, I would stop and reflect that maybe I'm going too much.
I assume everyone muted is singing along and not doing it publicly because it just doesn't work. But you're required to sing along.
To what?
To the theme song. Da, da,
Demonstrate.
da, da. You know.
Uh-huh.
So on an entirely unrelated note, I was thinking we should eliminate the letter X from the alphabet, and then we should make C just the CH sound. Just make it ch.
What?
Because X is already covered by K and Z, and C is covered by S and K. The only thing it does is the ch sound. So we just make it ch, and then we eliminate this S and K sound from
And
it,
we replace
and we
all
can
Cs
eliminate
with
X
Ks.
entirely. Yeah, replace all
I'm
the
sure
current
if-
C's with K's or S's as appropriate.
Okay, but remember that the English language is dumb.
Yeah,
and it
I'm
has
saying
many
we should make it
problems.
less dumb.
Yes, but it's one of the many things you could do to make the language less dumb.
If you
So what is the
actively
point of
start
the letter
trying to make
X?
the language better, then you just basically destroy what the language is, which is an amalgamation of
That's
several
fine. The language
languages over
sucks.
a
Make
long
a better
period.
one.
I
Well, they tried
this
that with
happens all the time,
Esperanto,
and it has
and,
happened with
and
English
everyone
in the
went,
past, so.
Nah.
Yeah, but English has been destroyed like 5 times before. It's not a big deal. Happens all the time.
It wasn't like an active effort, though.
Well,
Oh,
they need
it
to finish
was.
the job.
Like dropping the
Yes,
E in
finish it off.
aesthetic, or the A in aesthetic was an active effort.
Lawn Suitor. I believe you mean Grima Wormtongue. Which, in the movies they call him Grima Wormtongue, but his last name isn't Wormtongue. It's an insult people call him in the books. They call him Grima the Wormtongue.
What are you talking about?
Grima
No idea.
Wormtongue.
Rings.
Don't you know Grima?
No.
From Lord of the Rings, man.
Mr. Suitor was a Maquis
Lord of the
who-
Rings, The Two Towers.
It's been far too long.
Suitor was a Maquis who liked to collect Cardassian neck bones.
Yes.
Suitor
Eventually,
and
he would solve the neck
Alphazoid.
trick.
Hmm?
Maybe.
Is
Eventually
Suitor
he
an
would what?
Alphazoid?
I don't think he's an Alphazoid.
He's a Delton. He arrived in engineering and he's like, my oath of celibacy is on record, ladies.
Why is Gene Roddenberry so weird? I should say was, I guess. Why was he so weird?
He's so weird. Oh my god. What a weirdo.
Have you seen him? Like, seen him? And then you've
Well, he's
seen
dead,
his like
so no.
harem. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I mean, like, have you seen a picture of him, like when he was alive? He wasn't a looker, but he had like a harem, like a legit harem. It's crazy.
That's the dream, isn't it?
No, that sounds like a lot of work.
Interesting.
It probably is a lot of work.
Being in a relationship with
Although,
one person takes
he
enough effort.
Yeah, but you can kind
the
of
thing is, like-
you can kind of parallelize it if you're in a relationship with 20
Right.
people. You know, you don't need to do the same individual things for each individual.
Just
person.
delegate.
Instead of
Like,
making
if it-
breakfast for 20 people, you know, like one by one, you just make a
Well, I
huge
guess
breakfast and divide it up.
I guess the question is,
Right.
are they all in a relationship with Gene, or are they all in a relationship with each other, including Gene? Because
I
that
think-
would make it a lot easier if they can just hang out with each other. But if they're all like waiting on Gene,
I
Don't
think
waiting
it's
for
gonna
him to
take
be
a
available.
He is a bottleneck in this.
It's like a timeshare. Here's the way I see it. Like, have you ever been in a relationship with someone where like you love them, you care about them, you like spending time with them, but sometimes you just spend a little too much time with them? If you've got like 5 or 6 people that you're dating, you'll never reach that point because you just kind of rotate them in and out, you know?
Yeah,
That
never.
sounds very heartless.
You also got
Well, the assumption is that they'll be doing the same with you.
Look, right. That's like
girlfriends
the
are not
basis
just
of ethical
collectibles,
non-monogamy.
Robo.
Who said they were all girls?
I keep them on a shelf
Well,
in my
I mean,
basement.
Gene Roddenberry, they were all girls, except Gene. Well, they were all women, because girl implies like young, and I hope not.
You know, I swap them out every so often, like my oil filter.
Yeah, they're modular.
Swap them out. Listen, other people
Yeah.
aren't things.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
why it's called ethical non. Well,
Everything is a thing.
Somehow I don't think that description fits Gene Roddenberry.
What, a thing?
Ethical?
Mm-hmm. He's not the most ethical man around.
This doesn't seem like the best
I don't know if you
interrogation
know this,
technique.
but he's dead.
I don't think you ask people, did you have a reason to kill this person? Because
Yes, I killed him because I didn't like him.
It's just stage 1. Just seeing if anyone will admit to it, because if someone just admits to it, you can skip all the hard work.
Yeah.
if someone admits to it, they're probably lying.
Yeah, whatever.
Definitely
Someone's
true
going to jail.
on television.
As long as someone's going to jail, it doesn't really matter who. It's fine.
there's a picture out there I know with him in a hot tub with a bunch of women. I'm trying to find it.
So Gene looks okay. He's a little overweight, but he looks fine.
There's this picture, and I've seen it before in better quality, and I can't find a better quality image of it. But yeah, to be fair, there's 3 dudes in that picture.
So it was just a
Maybe they're all
big
part of the harem.
polyamorous thing.
Maybe he's open-minded.
Yeah.
He was very open-minded for his time.
Dude was a hippie, right? Like, it's not.
I think he.
At least in the
I'm not sure if he was in
sense.
the. I don't know about that. I don't know if he was in the military, but I knew he was a commercial airline pilot.
No, he was.
Yeah, I
he
don't-
was in the Marines, as I recall, or the Navy.
He was a
Navy.
commercial
Isn't-
airline pilot, and they crashed in the desert, and he led all the survivors to safety. That's when he got the idea for
Is that a Star Trek
apparently.
episode or something he did?
It's something he did. That's where he got the idea for Star Trek, or
I like how Lon Suitor is just admitting to it. What's the big deal? Like, hey, you did it. It's like,
Yeah.
you got me. Here's how I did it. Here's the weapon.
You
Here's
looked
the
at me
method.
funny.
I
Like
just
that
didn't like
parody
the
from
way
Rick
he
and
looked
Morty
at
where
me.
it's the super easy murder case.
He just wanted to kill somebody. Couldn't take it. He's been out in space for over 2 years.
I
Hasn't
don't know
killed a
about-
Cardassian.
I don't know about Rick and Morty,
Just kind
but
of scratch that itch.
there's a YouTube channel called Film Cow who's done a few videos like that. Where it starts with an initial like noir novel. Oh, I tracked the clues to the Summit Mist Manor, following the trail of the golden elephant. They walk in and it's like, yes, I stole it. It's like, oh. Okay. And yes, that silence after the story is the perfect reaction because that's how it was. They just stand there.
No, I'm trying to find the Rick and Morty on YouTube.
I think Tuvok's kind of he misses the trick on this one because like he's like, what's the motive? What's the motive? The motive was he has like very difficult to control anger and he had to get it out.
It doesn't matter if he has his established motive, he just told you. Or he's going to. Didn't like the way you looked at him.
Are you
enough.
telling me that Tuvok never heard of serial killers?
Tuvok never heard of mental illness, apparently.
Come on, there's been Vulcans that were serial killers, right? There was a Vulcan
Must have
serial
been.
killer in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
But he had a motive. He was traumatized by the war, and the sight of people's laughter triggered his PTSD, and he coped by murder or some such.
Yeah, you would think that like they would treat this as a mental illness by this point, right? And they'd say, "Oh, it's clearly not your fault. You were mentally ill."
Yeah, but I mean, in Voyager's position, you would still
we're
be
gonna
like,
have-
let's airlock him.
We're going to have a very explicit episode about that later, with the dude who actually had some physical problem in his brain, and he killed people. And then the doctor shows up and he fixes it. It's like, well, now what? He's literally
Yeah, that was
a
an
different
episode
person
of
now.
Voyager, right?
Yeah, that's Voyager.
Yeah.
I don't know.
When,
Oh, yeah,
when
but
they were
It
they
has
turned the
7 in
cargo
it, so
bay
it's
into
not
a
for
prison.
a while.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And it
They
turns
have
out
What do we
asked the
do? He's a different
family
guy. We
of the
can't just kill
victim?
him. And then they kill him.
And then they kill him.
Yes, Tuvok. Tuvok, have you never heard of murder before?
Tuvok has never been stuck in traffic for 45 minutes.
What about a Taco Bell drive-thru for 45 minutes?
Oh.
I know. I've never been
Whoa, I
closer
need
to
one below
murdering
the
a stranger
belt, jeez.
than I've been stuck in traffic.
Also, wasn't Tuvok with the Maquis for like several years? Wasn't he acting with another guy?
He was with the Maquis for a long time with Suitor. Because Suitor was
Yeah.
part of Chakotay's deal.
Really being in the Maquis, you would have seen a lot of people like him as well. That just wanted like some place to be violent.
But yeah, Suitor is, of course, Grima Wormtongue, who poisons Theoden's mind.
He makes a very convincing unhinged person. Well, he's not unhinged, he's just intense.
Does he blink? I'm watching his eyes now.
The contacts make it, they sell it as well, because you can't tell where he's looking,
Oh,
which
yep,
is
there's
supposed to be
blinking,
what the
okay.
iris is
Actor
for.
does a really good job.
What's
there
this
was a
guy's
blink
name?
as he turned around.
Yeah, he blinks. What's his name, the actor? It's Brad do something? Dourif? What else does he do? Oh man, he's old now.
You're
Why are
giving
you so
Tuvok
old, Brad?
ideas. Tuvok's like, oh, that's a good idea.
Honestly, I can't would be the logical course of action.
So if the Federation gets like the most extreme criminal possible, would they still not execute them? They would just keep them in prison forever?
Yeah, they would send them to beautiful New Zealand. Apparently, he's the voice of Chucky, the evil doll. Interesting.
No, it's not important. You already understand. You just refuse to believe it.
Oh.
This is such a bad idea. Tuvok's answer to everything is a mind meld.
Vulcan's
just get
answers
on
to
in
everything.
there.
Yeah, it's every Vulcan.
Except for an Enterprise.
Logic, mind melds, martial arts. Neck pinch.
Tuvok, he's like a guy who works in IT and is sick of people being terrible with computers. So he's like, I'm not going to lead you through
Let me
it.
get
Just
in
let me
there."
remote in. I'll fix it myself.
Suitor becomes a really tragic character, though. I mean,
Yeah.
yes,
They had
Yeah.
some
he's a cult
redemption arc, didn't
sociopath.
they?
Well, yeah, he has the classic Hollywood redemption arc. The only way a character like him can be redeemed is through self-sacrifice, and
Well, I think
He
that's
does.
probably the opinion of the crew as well. They wouldn't really trust him again ever, would they? Because he murdered someone.
he murdered a couple people, didn't he?
I think it's just one
Didn't
person
he?
on Voyager.
Only one person on the ship. But he was very murder happy against Cardassians. He enjoyed it too much. So far, it's only one Starfleet murder.
So
So far,
So far.
This is like the same thing as just taking a random seed out of a computer at any given day, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
completely
point.
random number.
Now, what is the level of precision required? Do they have to get like 2 decimal points, or
Yeah, I have no idea. They never
what's
specify.
the deal?
They're Starfleet. They've got to get it right.
This is the B plot. B for bad.
Well, you don't like the pub.
No, I don't. It's better than Fairhaven, though.
It is good in that it sets up an arc they want to do in a few episodes. They're setting up the Tom is being a bad guy. And they're going to come back to it.
Yeah, that's
They're
like a pretty
trying-
long plot point, isn't it?
They're
It goes
on.
dipping their toe. They're dipping their toe into serialized storytelling, just a little bit.
It was
Yeah,
And
really
then
good,
once this
actually.
arc is done, they immediately recoil. Like, nope, didn't like that at all.
I actually, like the first time I watched it, it didn't click for me until he was off the ship, and I was like, oh. I didn't realize that it was just fine.
Why can't we leave him in the dungeon on the trip?
It's a very nice dungeon.
Very long trip.
It's only a few more
Yeah.
years, 5 more years.
Just put him in the
You don't
pattern
know
buffer.
that yet.
I guess I
think
do.
the
It's a Star
Federation
Trek show.
probably considers it unethical to keep someone in the brig forever.
It's
Yeah,
not
they
like it's
still have their
solitary
morals at this
confinement. He
point.
can have visitors and stuff. It's a very small cell, though.
Yeah, I doubt
You would
that
have
they
to have
consider it
yard
ethical.
time in the holodeck.
What if they just like hear me out? What if they just put him on the transporter and like dematerialize them and stored them in the computer?
Until they got home.
Yeah, then they could just make them again. You know, that's what Star Trek does.
They usually say that transporters can't hold a person for very long.
Yeah, but like that's like if they're trying to transport from A to B, but they could just save him.
Hang on, but in Deep Space Nine, they can store the patterns for very long in the ship's computer.
Yeah, by deleting everything else.
But they had
And
to
then they
store
become
like
holodeck characters.
5 people. What if they only had to store one
High
person?
stakes holodeck characters.
What if they
And
just stored
keep in
his
mind-
internal organs and kept his like skeletal and all that musculature like outside in stasis?
Well, the problem is more like the brain stuff.
Just put his brain in the transporter buffer and save the brain. Or better yet, just stick him in a stasis drawer.
Just turn off Suitor for a few years.
Well, from his perspective, it's like no time at all has even passed.
So the
Next
Kazon
time
show
there's a
up
power
and take
outage,
over the
he's
ship
like,
and
"Oh."
murder him. Oh, it's this scene. Unfortunately, Tuvok here is not nearly as smooth as he should be. Could use a little more smoothing.
I remember that.
Neelix is up on him like more than normal, so
Yes.
Voyager over relies on holodeck fake
Neelix and
outs.
his googly eyes.
We had one last episode. We have one this episode. Will we have one next episode? Yeah, if you look at his eyebrows, they like stick out of his face half an inch. It's not.
When
It's not
when
just like
Tuvok
his.
starts choking him, you can see his prosthetic coming off a bit. You can't unsee it.
Yeah, and it's just, the upscale made it way more obvious, and it looks weird. But that's just he just looks weird in reality. It's just hard to see with a low res.
Yeah, you can see it on his forehead.
What is that
Is it-
line?
Yeah.
Bye,
mean, this scene
Neelix.
is like weirdly satisfying because all the times that he annoys Tuvok and he doesn't get anything
Yay! Woo!
Oh.
Aw.
Aw.
Maybe next
That'd
time.
be cool if they actually made Tuvok kill Neelix.
But
I
then
actually
we'd have
like
to get
Neelix
rid
as
of
a
Tuvok
character,
as an
but-
actor, and he's one of my favorites on the
Neelix
show.
is okay once Cass leaves.
Yeah, he gets better.
The problem
He
is
only
he
ever
just
reaches the
he
level
goes
of
out of his
okay,
way
though.
just to like.
What if we kill
Tuvok,
Cass
hey,
instead
Tuvok.
then?
What if Tuvok kills Cass?
Well, it doesn't have to be Tuvok,
As a
but what if we
result
just
of
kill
this
off Cass?
episode?
And then we can have Neelix be better, because he's not obsessing over a child.
But was it worth Cass leaving for Neelix to get better? My answer is no.
Well, I think she
Neelix
was
should have
kind of.
left.
She didn't really have anywhere to go as a character, did she?
Yeah, we could have had her age
Aging.
up and die
It
at
would've
the
been
end of the
cool.
series. We could have seen
Yeah,
her
so
She
entire
would have been like
lifespan.
a powerful. She was very helpful with 3872,
Yeah, but then she'd be up, and that's no fun.
and she healed. She saved the ship from 7.
What?
What?
She saved the ship from 7?
Yeah, when 7 tries to contact the Borg, she stops her in the gift with her psychic powers.
I have no
Same.
memory of them ever having met. I thought Cass left before 7 showed up.
We'll find out in a few months.
It's been quite a while since I watched it, though.
He's just snooping on him.
Do they provide Suitor with hair gel in his prison cell?
Nah, he makes it himself.
Is
It's
it
all
just like his
natural.
spit?
Yeah,
Oh, he has a gland that he extrudes it from.
it's a Betazoid thing.
Yeah. It all goes back to the Chalice of Reeks. Well,
The
that's a
sacred
story
chalice
for
of
another
Reeks.
Just a
day.
moldy old cup.
How dare you? It is sacred.
Just a moldy old cup.
And it
The
reeks.
Betazoids do with the mold from the Child of Reeks. Is
They
the mold
sniff it.
also sacred?
They just smell the mold because it's the Chalice of Reeks. Apparently, the telltale sign that someone is totally in control of themselves is if they clasp their hands behind their back.
Yep.
That's
That's
how you
what
can
Star
tell.
Trek does to signify that.
See Jadzia.
Yeah.
Dax always walks like that too. As does 7 of 9.
I think Janeway walks like that too. Sometimes.
Yeah, but not always.
Well, nobody walks like that always. It's uncomfortable.
Does. You can't unsee it. She's always like that.
Who do you want to murder, Tuvok? Who do you want to kill? Let the hate flow
Ironic.
through you. Shooter, you're way too into this. Wait, what? Tuvok's turning him down? Tuvok loves to meld. You can't say no.
He's not feeling it today.
He's always feeling it.
Got a Meld transmitted mental illness.
Oh god.
God,
Don't
this is
remind
what
me of that.
happens when you do unprotected meld with everyone you meet, Tuvok.
He didn't use protection.
Oh, so what if you melded with Neelix and killed him that way?
Hmm.
Oh, it was
Is he giving-
dangerous.
Is he giving him killer advice?
He
Yes.
is, yes.
Though,
He's
in
like,
a way,
he's like
Tuvok...
fucking. I'm sorry. He's like what's his face? Hannibal Lecter.
I don't think he realised it
Okay.
until Tuvok left. He was like, uh-oh.
But yeah, Tuvok... I was thinking
just
Tuvok
told him
could
to
meld
kill
with
people.
Neelix to kill him, but no, we're actually going to do that later. Just not in this episode.
We're going to meld at another level
Yes. They shall become one with
to
Neelix.
create a newer, better character.
Look, lady, either pull the gun or don't. Don't just keep your hand on it.
Yep.
Tuvok, you feeling okay, buddy? Now, this scene I don't like, because it just feels to me like Tuvok is trying to be edgy. It's like, don't make me use my full power.
I'm only at 10% right now.
Tuvok is an edgelord.
While you studied diplomacy, I studied the blade.
I mean,
I have studied violence for over a century.
I would be an edgelord too if I'd never really experienced emotions of like wanting to kill people.
I'll have to let my demons out just this once. Forgive me. Jesus, Tuvok.
He gets even more intense than this.
This isn't scary to me. This is just... I can't take him seriously. Now, I can take him seriously once they put him behind the force field. That's intense.
He should have. He should
Release
have
the
fingerless
force
gloves,
field!
a trench coat, and a trilby on right now while he's saying that.
Oh my god, just shoot him. Oh, he's much less sweaty now. They washed him off. Good.
Just hose him down a bit. They've probably removed it doing
Maybe they just didn't
like,
beam.
"Ew,
Yeah,
sweat."
they just didn't beam the sweat. It just all falls to the ground. They
Eject
could
it
leave it
into
in the
space.
buffer. They could beam the sweat back into the water storage tanks.
Oh.
It'll
They
be
could beam the sweat
filtered.
back into his sweat glands.
I'm with the doctor here.
I like
How
how he
about
says,
just
"Would
share
you?"
my
The
brain?
captain, who I think already has melded with Tuvok before.
Who
He's like,
hasn't melded with Tuvok? Does anyone in
such
the
a
show
wanton
survive
melder.
without melding? Other than the doctor, who's a computer and not a person?
He's a computer and a person, you monster.
You sure about that?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Not an
I guess the
organic
show is
line.
sure about
Sorry.
that.
So last episode we had a bit where someone was demanding the force field go down.
Oh wait, computers
now-
can mind meld because of stupid Star Trek Picard.
No, computers can mind meld because of V'ger. That's
What?
TOS canon.
Yeah,
true.
V'ger can mind meld, huh? Well, can it?
Yeah, Spock mind melts with it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he does.
That's not Picard canon. That's TOS canon.
That is weird.
I was gonna mention they go to like warp 20 or something in TOS as well.
Yeah, different.
Yeah, they redid the warp scale.
I think it was warp 14, not warp 20.
And then they
Oh,
redo the warp
yeah.
scale again in alternate future, where the Enterprise D with its big laser cannon
Mm-hmm.
goes to warp
Goes to warp
12 or
13.
something.
Oh, right.
Primal Vulcan behavior.
When did they mind meld with a Picard with a computer in Picard though? I don't remember that.
One of the data androids mind melds with someone. It's very cringy. I don't like it. I didn't like when data can nerve pinch people. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
What about when
He did that in
Picard
TNG.
nerve pinches people?
Yeah, I fucking hate it. I don't like it when Michael Burnham did it either.
Yeah,
Michael
I don't know how
Burnham.
the nerve pinch works.
Like,
Data
isn't it
nerve
a
pinch
psychic
makes some sense.
attack, or are people just built different in Star Trek? So they just have this weakness where you pinch their neck. and
Every
they fall
species
over.
in Star Trek has an off switch in their shoulder.
Like,
Except for
Burnham,
Data,
I don't
who
know.
has an off switch in his lower back.
Yes.
I'm pretty
Yeah, he
sure
likes it
that
when you caress
it's a
the small
psychic
of his
attack.
back.
And of course, Michael Burnham won't have one because, Michael Burnham.
Michael Burnham?
Yeah, this is much more intense than his studied the blade speech earlier.
The other Tuvok. You disgust me.
Kill him now. He's too dangerous to be left alive. I don't know if I believe you, Captain.
Liar!
Yeah.
You turned him
Liar.
against me!
You have done that yourself. Oh, this year we're getting more
Yeah,
Ewan
he deserves to
McGregor.
die. Let him be burns in hell.
We're getting more Kenobi this year. When is that? Like a couple months?
Wait,
When
did
is
that come
Kenobi?
out?
It's coming out
You
this
said
year later.
more.
Kenobi
Release the force
series
field!
2022. Release the force field. See, Tuvok said calmly. It just says releasing sometime in 2022. Doesn't say when.
What, the force field?
No, Jesus. The Kenobi series. And apparently it's supposed to be 6
V'ger
one-hour
mind
episodes.
melds doesn't bother me, to be honest.
Why? There it is.
Beecher is like a god.
Beecher is a big, overgrown Macintosh. It's over, the doctor says. Hang on, how much time is left? Oh, there's actually not that much left in the episode. It's not over, but it's
Go
close
home.
over.
I feel like Tuvok would just break his whole arm and shoulder before he would give up.
Yeah, that's true.
You sense his mind.
No, in a sense.
Oh, in a
Now
sense.
the doctor should mind meld with Tuvok.
And there's nothing to meld with. He doesn't have a
He can
biological
meld with
brain.
that like sensor
that's
thing on
amazing.
his head.
But seriously, has he mind melded with everyone except the doctor?
No, he is
No,
not.
he's mind melded with
Just
us
everyone in the Delta Quadrant.
on the show.
He melds with all the
And with
Maquis.
Janeway.
He definitely has
All of
not
them?
melded with Harry Kim because why?
Has he not melded with Harry Kim?
Who
I
would
don't
want to
think so.
mind meld with Harry Kim?
What about Harry Kim 2?
What's wrong with Harry Kim? Why wouldn't you want to mind meld with Harry Kim?
There's nothing to him. He's just there.
I played the
I don't know, he
clarinet.
plays
I
the
have no
clarinet.
personality.
He plays the
he
clarinet
glowed
for a
one
bit.
time.
They changed the episode he
when he
plays in later
glowed.
episodes.
And then he changed his
Instrument.
instrument. He
Yeah, they
changed it
changed
to
it.
something. I don't remember what.
Did he ever meld with 7 of 9?
I don't.
I'm sure he's
Yes,
mind melded with
yes, he
7 of
mind
9.
melded with 7 of 9 when she was having her thing where she regressed to alternate
yeah.
personalities.
Oh, okay.
And that was actually like
Um.
horrifying what he saw in there. They show us
So this
flashes of
is-
like people begging not to be assimilated on a Borg cube, screaming for help. It's awful.
7 of 9.
Now you realize why the Vulcans like took so long to get to space. They have like this amazing capability, but combined with complete irrationality.
Yeah, he released his own force field.
I mean, the
And
force
this didn't trigger
field.
any security or anything, of course.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, that nobody notified anything. The computer didn't detect anything.
Why was there even so much
What's the
power running to that
medical force
bio
field?
bed? And why did the power not turn off when it was unplugged?
As in the plot wouldn't make sense.
You know what I don't like about the Voyager uniforms?
No, I don't know what you don't like about the Voyager uniforms.
The front zipper.
That's
I
the
like
best
the
place to
Voyager
have a
uniforms
zipper.
a lot.
Where else do
I
you
think
put a
it's
zipper?
better than the.
Next
No, they're
Generation
actually my
doesn't have a
favorite
zipper on the
uniform.
front.
Favorite.
See what you do is you put a zipper on the back. It teaches them teamwork.
Mm-mm. The zipper on the front is functional.
It reinforces crew.
I've read
What's the
this
word I'm looking
post on
for?
Daystrom. I have read that post.
Really?
On
I
real
I didn't know it
on
was a
actual
post. I was
Daystrom or
just
good
making it up as I
Daystrom?
go.
Actual Daystrom. Boring Daystrom.
Crew
It
cohesion.
was a very long post. The best posts always are.
Kill him, Tuvok. End his miserable life.
I mean, if anyone deserves to be executed for their crimes, it's probably Janeway. Past and present
I knew you were
crimes.
going to say that.
What's that?
I knew you were going to say Janeway.
Well, I mean, can you disagree?
She hasn't done anything execution worthy yet.
Yeah, what
I
crimes?
seek no return.
I said past or present or future.
You can't execute someone before they commit the crime.
You can in Star.
Well, if you know they're going to commit it, then you're just allowing it to happen by not doing
Minority
it.
Report.
That makes you just as culpable. If you knew it was going to happen, you could have stopped it and you didn't.
Oh, is Suda releasing his
man.
mental force field?
He's
Suda
putting
doesn't
he's
have a
putting
mental
the
force field.
He's putting the violence back into Suitor's mind.
He had maybe like a navigation shield because Tuvok gave him a boost.
Did they give him those
Okay,
mind meld
Suitor.
vaccines?
You doing okay, Grima?
Suitor's like, oh, the violence is back, but now why do I like anime girls? What's the deal with that?
Why did my pee get hard when I see anime?
Oh no.
Yeah, Suitor's trying to be a good guy still, but he's still wording it like he's evil. Look, you better get down here. Tuvok needs help. Why'd you say it like that?
Yeah, did he do that on purpose or?
If I had said that,
He's
Ryan would have
just
said,
so
"Don't
used to
make it
talking like
weird."
that.
That's because you say that stuff all the time.
You always make things weird.
No.
Oh, it's such a low res version of Voyager. Ugh.
Yes, it is.
It is the Voyager in low resolution.
It's like you might use a magnifying glass. Probably the Voyager. I can't really tell.
I have run out of beard oil. This is a dire.
Oh
scenario.
no!
Hell
That's
is
fine,
beard oil?
It's
Because
oil
without
for your
beard oil,
beard.
it gets dry and wiry, and skin
Is
gets
this the
all
thing?
flaky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beard oil?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Don't you put oil in your beard?
No, I've never done this.
How about
Never
your
put
hair?
oil in my beard. Never put oil in my hair intentionally.
You use no product on your hair whatsoever.
It's beard oil's
Conditioner?
like conditioner for your beard.
Is it? Is
Mhm.
it just like oil? What kind of oil is it? Do
There's
they
all
use
kinds.
Vegetable.
oil from like lesser beards? Like do
Vegetable
they?
oil.
Usually, I usually go with crude oil.
I don't know. It just says beard oil. I guess I could go get. I don't actually use beard oil.
Brian, do you
I
have a
use a
beard?
beard conditioner.
No more mind melds without my permission. You can only mind meld with me now.
But someone gave me some beard oil, so I could go check ingredients.
Is that an
on it.
okay thing for her to say?
Wait, what did she
Didn't
say?
he
I was
ask
thinking
for
about
permission?
beards.
Exclusively mind melding. Look at that. Nice low res again.
Okay. So the next and final episode for today
Hey,
is
Dreadnought, that's bad.
Dreadnought.
I'm not straight up good.
Though, going back to English for a bit, I don't like the spelling. I feel like it should be Dreadnought.
I agree.
Dreadnought. Like nougat.
Well, you can
What?
start writing
Sure.
it like that, and if
Now
you
get-
convince enough people to write it that way, then it will become the way that it's
Can it be-
spelled.
Can it be
It should be
NAWT?
N-A-U-G-H-T. If we're go, if
Is it
we're
not?
no, it's O. It's O-U-G-H-T.
Oh.
If we're gonna
I
go
mean-
with the dumb spelling, we should at least be consistent and use the same spelling as the word not. It is
That makes
not,
sense.
but folly.
It depends.
But
This is one that depends who you ask, because the classic ship, the class of Dreadnought, the Dreadnought, that is actually with an A, but this episode is with an O. So take that however you want.
The Refit Galaxy class is considered a Dreadnought, right? The one with the
Galaxy
third nacelle.
class? The third nacelle, yes.
Galaxy
it's considered
X.
a Dreadnought.
Now press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Alright.
It's the
we're into it.
Galaxy X canon.
We don't actually know if it actually happened in the real timeline.
Oh, inside
Oh,
that crewman is Naomi Wildman, subunit of Ensign Samantha Wildman.
Thank you.
You could. I feel like she grew up really fast on the show. Like, did the
Yeah,
actress
but-
were they like, here's an 8-year-old to play a 3-year-old or something?
Yeah, whatever. They grow fast. Don't
I'm
worry about it.
sure she was played by many different children.
No, she's
What's
only
the
played.
father?
There's the baby, and then there's child version. There's only 2.
What
hail
species
baby.
is the father?
And the child version, the real Naomi Wildman that we see a lot, was played by Scarlett Palmers, I think her name is.
What about the baby?
I don't know the
The
name
one
of the
that
baby.
the alternate universe baby that alternate universe Harry Kim rescues.
Naomi Wildman baby. I don't know if it's really an actor, if it's a baby. It's just kind of there. But
Well, if dogs are considered actors, then babies can also be considered actors.
Emily
Emily
Leibovich.
Also, no, apparently I was totally wrong. There is another Naomi Wildman actor. There's Brooke Stevens in the first Child Naomi episode. And then they replace Brooke with
They
Scarlett.
just discarded her.
Well, it progressively grew her up to the next actor and then left that actor for like 4 or 5 years.
And of course, there's adult Naomi, who's played by Vanessa Branch. And adult Naomi was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Adult Naomi and adult Icheb hanging out.
What was the name?
What name?
What
Chris
name was he
Kendrick.
thinking about?
Chris
Chris
Kendrick.
Kendrick, yeah.
How about Schmollis? I've heard that's a good one.
Oh, it's so bad. Why did he go with Schmollis for a while?
It's all better than
Well,
Joe.
he finishes on Joe.
It was like one
come on.
episode.
Get all the names in the Alpha and Beta quadrant, and maybe some in the Delta quadrant, and he goes with Joe.
I guess it's simple.
I thought his name
I
was
think he
Bob.
should have gone with Robert.
Or Picard.
I think
Or Picardo.
Yes. No, Robert Picard.
Mr.
Why
Picard.
don't we have Star Trek Picardo? It would have been so good.
Nice.
Star Trek Picardo.
It'd be so
I
good.
could. He is.
He is good.
by Seska's fault.
I still watch his what do you call? What does he call them? The little
Something
videos he does.
alfresca, technobabble alfresca.
Yeah, that's it. And he spins around and does like a direct. He's talking as himself from the show.
He just quotes the show as himself, as the Doctor. Which, I mean, I feel like I could just watch Star Trek if I want Doctor quotes, but
Yeah, but it's different when he's just out in the wild doing it.
he doesn't even have his mobile emitter.
Maybe he does, and it's just concealed very well.
It cloaks itself.
Yeah. I mean, turns out that the entire threshold thing about it being retconned is an urban myth, and I feel silly. So, you know.
Wait, what's an urban
In
myth?
fact, the idea that threshold got retconned is wrong. They, in fact, carefully wrote Paris's line so that it does not contradict the episode.
Okay.
I told you.
And yeah.
Star Trek writers being
You're
careful
right.
about not.
Wait, they
overwriting
carefully
previous
wrote some of those
episodes?
lines? What?
Yeah, they actually were careful about continuity. In this instance.
No.
Continuity
Yeah.
in my
I
Star
believe
Trek?
that they.
He
You know
says
what
he's
I
never
believe?
traveled through a transwarp conduit. There was no
Oh.
conduit in Threshold.
Whatever.
Well,
Technically correct. The best kind of
Or
correct.
transwarp conduits considered warp 10.
I don't think
No,
transwarp
'cause they
conduits are
don't
warp
go-
10,
the
no.
Borg
go
solve
like
the lizard baby problem?
99999.
No, they're not warp 10. They still have travel time in the conduit.
Isn't that kind of like saying you've never traveled through a tunnel in a car, but you've been in a car before? Like,
Right.
No, because it's a different form. It's like saying you've never.
I've
Put your
never gone
car-
150 miles an hour in a tunnel, but I've gone
No,
150 miles an hour in a car.
It's no.
Well, you
it's
probably
like saying
shouldn't.
you've
That
never
sounds
done,
unsafe.
I have.
Like.
Well, don't.
It's fun.
What is- they
It's like
certainly
saying
didn't
you've never
intend
put
to
your car
verify
on a
it.
train and
So-
then gone 200 miles an hour, but you've driven the car at 200 miles an hour.
yeah, but the point is the same thing is achieved just through a different means.
No, it's different.
You're traveling at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, but it's different means of transport.
It's not the same.
Anyway, Dreadnought.
Dreadnought.
I do-
Dreadnought.
How did So B'Elanna reprogrammed it, but how did the Cardassians build this?
Yes.
It's just a ship. It's just a ship. It's just
It's
like
just a ship that they
a
filled with
shuttle.
antimatter and made sentient.
Yeah, that could never go wrong.
You know, the computers are heavily implied to be sentient in Star Trek in general. They're just like ambivalent.
And they gave it shielding so strong that a Federation starship can't penetrate it.
How did it get to Delta Quadrant again?
Probably caretaker. Don't worry about it.
But
so how do you, if they have shielding that can be, if they can have shielding
Directed
that's
by
so
LeVar
strong
Burton.
that the Federation can't penetrate it, why don't they, you know,
Put that on their
use it on their
starships.
ships?
Invulnerable Galler-class warships. Nah. One missile.
Well, you know, even if they're invulnerable,
One Missly boy.
their
I
weapons.
think they just said that
big
it's not a
phaser.
Maquis thing. They literally just, it's a completely Cardassian thing that they convinced to not be a Cardassian thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they convinced
Oh.
it by changing its entire programming.
But the Cardassians poured all of their military budget into this thing. That could
Yeah, just this
defeat the
one.
Federation probably by itself. And they sent it against a ragtag group of terrorists that work in like cells of 12 people.
Nah, they wouldn't be able to defeat the Federation. The Federation has way too many planets to bomb.
Yeah, but if you blew up Earth, the Federation would get quite angry.
Yeah, and then they
Correct.
destroy you. Or they
Well, the
give you
Federation's
territory.
not
one or
willing
the
to
other.
destroy people, they're
Waits
cowards.
for them to stop talking before she leaves.
If you blew up Earth, the Cisco would murder you.
The Cisco? What are you, prophet?
Yes, the Cisco is appropriate, the Voyager is not. He is the
This is
Cisco.
favoritism.
We're all
It is
watching the
favoritism, yes, I'm glad
Voyager.
you noticed.
Is it the Deep Space Nine?
Nope.
Doesn't even make sense.
What? The space station is called Deep Space
How
Nine.
about the Defiant?
Yeah,
It is the
Defiant.
Defiant.
The Defiant.
It is the
They always call it
Defiant.
the Defiant.
Everything
say
is the
just Defiant
it's-
at least
it's like-
once.
Voyager and Deep Space Nine.
And Enterprise on Enterprise.
The only
Yes,
role that
but-
matters is does it sound right? That's really what it comes down to.
Except that they
But
use
it's like
different ones for
linguistic gender,
Enterprise.
right?
Like,
Some
being-
ships just have a the in front and some ships don't.
Being syntactically correct isn't important if it sounds bad.
But you've got
And the
Enterprise
Voyager
and
sounds
the
bad.
Enterprise.
Yeah.
But we've got
That's how you tell them apart.
Enterprise. But we do have, yeah, but we have lots of Enterprises. Only
No,
one
we
of
have
them is
lots of the
the
Enterprises. We only have one Enterprise.
The Enterprise.
Which one? There are like 7.
Another ship is entering the system. It's the Enterprise.
And everyone goes,
Isn't the wait,
It doesn't matter that I watched
There are 13
First Contact
Enterprises.
first. Now that I've watched Parks and Rec, I can only see the "It's the Enterprise" guy as Ben from Parks and Rec. That's all he is to me.
so you said there are 13 Enterprises. How many of those are actually not just mentions of Enterprises?
we actually see the Enterprise K briefly, don't we?
J.
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 Oh, J. Okay.
We don't see the F. The F is
So
in
12 then.
The F is in Star Trek
Okay.
Online, which is
We see NX-01.
We don't even know if the
original.
Universe Class J is canon.
Yeah,
It was a future flash forward thing, so that feature
Okay.
might not be real.
that's fair. That's fair.
They do mention, well, I guess I can't really talk about Discovery Season 4. But the Enterprise might still be around, it's unclear.
yeah.
I really hope they don't keep around the Universe Class one. That one fucking sucks.
But Universe.
The Universe Class one is the pizza cutter, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the J.
was the J 29th century?
I don't know. Late.
USS Enterprise J.
Also just comically huge. I wish they'd
20
stop making the ships bigger.
26th century.
J.
That's something I do appreciate about the Sovereign class. It's actually smaller than the Galaxy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's
The galaxy is
longer,
too big.
but
longer,
it's
but
smaller in
significantly smaller
volume
volume. Yeah.
and narrower. You can actually fit almost the entire ship inside of the saucer section of the galaxy.
Because the galaxy was
In
a
terms
little
of volume, yeah.
excessive.
Without the nacelle, you can fit everything else inside of the saucer section.
Cherokee boy.
Turn it sideways.
Honestly, like the classic 1701 is too big. I think the NX01 is the perfect size.
NX-01's good. That's a good design.
What you're
The
saying
NX-01
is
is quite a nice ship. I like the secondary hull version of the NX-01.
that was neat, but
I don't
then it
really
had
like
like superfluous
the exterior
struts.
of the
The
NX01.
exterior is my favorite exterior of any Star Trek ship. I love the NX-01.
My favorite exterior is the classic.
I think
TOS.
if you took the NX-01 with the refit and you removed that like little what do you call it? That thing in the back that is suspended between the nacelles and the
I think
extra
it's like
struts,
the warp
then it
field
would be great.
stabilizer or something.
I think it's actually the
It has
warp.
a
It has a
name.
canonical reason for existing.
Well, remove it.
The blueprint.
It's not really a canonical.
Oh, the
point-
compositing
that's
on that
canonical
shot is
excuse.
weird.
Point of
That ship
concept,
isn't
though.
moving at all. Is it a missile or is it a ship?
It's a missile ship called the
What if
Dreadnought.
we pilot a shuttle to run into the front of it? Automated pilot.
It'll probably just avoid it.
What if we just put a warp 10 thing on it
Warp 10 lizard babies.
and send it across the universe?
Well, what if you parked something at warp in front of it and then just stopped? Right?
Carthonassi's a traitor.
I quite like the ships being comically big. You know, they've got a whole galaxy to be in. The ships are going to be bigger.
The Maj.
I suppose
Okay,
there's
it's called the Symmetrical Warp Field Governor.
Okay.
It's a bullshit piece of crap that artist stuck on there.
Actually, I think it would look really silly without it.
I suppose what they
It
think
needs
of in
something to
future is
connect
I'm
the
not
two
saying
mis-
I'm
the two
not
bits.
saying look, I'm not saying without it the way it is in the series. I'm saying once you do the refit, you should get rid of it.
Doesn't
Oh yeah, for
the
sure.
And you should just
Then there would be like an extra thing there.
doesn't that ship from Star Trek Beyond kind of look like that? It has a split back and nothing connecting it.
Yeah, it looks a little silly. I love the interior of that ship though.
Well, the Franklin.
Franklin. Yeah, that ship's
Yeah,
interior is awesome.
I quite like the Franklin overall.
I
Minus
don't
the
like the
window.
exterior.
You know, that guy kind of looks like Tom Paris when he was only partially converted.
It's almost
less
like it's the same
slimy.
makeup department.
is that some sort of threat?
If he just like went on Nickelodeon and got slimed, that would just be a pre-Lizard Man.
Wow, they're setting up that storyline. I forgot about that.
Which storyline? The new friends?
The fake Janeway.
Oh, fake Janeway.
The chicken
Oh, I
wings
kinda
episode
forgot
is
about
my
her.
favourite.
I love that episode.
I
Yeah,
just skip that one
Robo,
every
if you
time.
want to
It's
see what the
just-
NX-01 would look like without that bit, just look up the USS Franklin. Because that's basically exactly what it is.
The USS Franklin? Okay.
Yeah.
Will do. Thanks for the heads up.
Okay.
And I do really like that they used Star Trek Enterprise design and they mentioned the Makos. I like Beyond. They talk about the
I like Beyond a
Zindi.
lot.
What?
They mention the Zindi.
They mention the Zindi, yes.
Who does?
Star Trek
The
Beyond.
Edison at the very end of Star Trek Beyond.
Huh.
I really hate the legitimacy that Enterprise gets.
I love it's so good.
It's like it's considered canon.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I love Enterprise. That's
this
my
is
third
where
favorite
my-
show.
Enterprise
God, I
is
hate it when
Trek,
someone
and
disagrees with me.
It's bad.
Enterprise is my third favorite Star Trek show, and that's not going to change for a while.
Your third favorite?
What's your favorite?
It's a tie between TNG and DS9.
Are those number
It's
1 and 2? Or are
DS9.
those both
Yes.
1?
I
think for
count those
sure.
as 1 and 2, but I don't know which is which.
Mhm.
Depends
TNG
on
and
the day.
DS9, then Enterprise, then Voyager,
Yeah.
Lower Decks, Discovery, Picard, TOS.
Real question is, do the
Ooh,
TOS movies
ooh.
count as part of TOS?
The TOS movies I like more than the TNG movies, so they're higher. But I don't really care for the series that much. Did I miss anyone?
Is Discovery
watch
maturing in the way
TVs.
that the other Star Treks did when it hit like third, fourth
Yes.
season?
Yes. It is decidedly better in the third and fourth seasons, yeah.
That's good to hear, because I was really disappointed for the first couple of seasons.
Honestly, I think season 2 was Discovery's best season.
Well,
And
Captain
there
Pike
were
was
parts of it
certainly
I
the
liked.
Like,
Discovery's
it was
best
bad. It was
captain.
bad, but
Pike was cool, that's true.
Oh yeah, when do we get
was
Strange
bad.
New Worlds?
oh my god,
Oh
I can't
yeah.
wait.
When do we get that? I have a lot of hopes for that.
I cannot wait.
As long as they make Pike to be slightly more competent than he was in Discovery.
He was
What?
great.
I
What
thought
are
he
you-
was
what are
super
you talking about?
competent. He was awesome. I love Pike.
He was
Oh my god.
he was very charismatic,
He
but it was
carried the
clear
show.
that number one did all the work.
I
And he
went
got all
and
the
watched the
credit.
show Hell on Wheels after Discovery just because it stars Anson
I don't
Mount
think
as-
that's
as
really
a dude.
fair. Number 1 was barely in Discovery. Pike did all the shit on his own.
And then she commits the biggest sacrifice.
No, that was someone else. You're thinking of
Well, they
Admiral
both do
Cornwell.
sacrifice themselves. Oh, the woman that goes in where the torpedo was.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the dumbest scene. That was
I still
the
just can't
strongest
get over how cool Pike is.
forward.
I don't think
We're
it's-
gonna get so much more of him. Mid
Okay,
2022,
I can't
Wikipedia
wait.
says. Mid 2022.
Nice.
Well, I think Pike, like, literally carried Discovery season 2 on his back.
It was
I-
yeah.
It
Oh,
was that
I mean,
bad he had
yeah.
to carry it, is that what you're saying?
season 2 of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is in development and expected to begin filming in February 2022.
Is season
Wait,
one
seriously?
complete?
They've already
They're
working
gonna
on season
they're
2?
about to start filming season 2 next month.
Wow.
Is season one out?
That is some confidence. Has everything else been renewed, do you know?
I
Like Lower
think
Decks?
I think everything's been renewed.
Yeah, I mean, Discovery is like big. It's not.
Yeah,
Discovery's
Discovery's
in no
super
is in no
popular.
danger.
I can't understand why or who watches the show, but
I watch it.
like clearly people do.
I like it. It's a good
I like
show.
I watch it. I watch it every week.
Then
Always disappointed.
I mean, it's probably
if you
the
don't
best
like the
thing
TV
on
show, you don't have to
CBS.
watch
I
it.
could complain about it at length, and I do, but in the end, I always end up like it's like I hated this and that and that, and what the hell is up with those cute robots on my Star Trek?
Yes, there's
But I
no
like the
minions in
episode.
Star Trek. Can you
I
believe that?
Ah,
I hate those things so much.
But I like it.
Yeah, it's a good show. Like
Is it?
it is.
We
every
ragged on
show there's
Thresholds
also
so
the-
much.
Strange New Worlds, right?
It happens. Honestly, this stream is mostly ragging on Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Also, what's the etymology of
sometimes I
ragging? What's up
wonder
with
if
that?
Star
What Star Trek
actually
fans do.
We
Yeah,
love
this
Star
is-
Trek.
Star
We
Trek they
also
don't
love
like
to
and they
hate
say
Star
it's
Trek.
crap.
This is yeah.
Like, is
And
there a
here's my
single Star Trek
27
show?
point PowerPoint to demonstrate why it's crap, and you're all going to
Yes,
have to listen
there is
to it.
a single Star Trek show. Yes, that is
No,
correct.
is there a single Star Trek show with better than 50% good episodes?
Generation,
What does
I
it
think,
even
was pretty-
mean?
Deep Space Nine,
Define
maybe.
define good.
Next
Define
Generation was
good.
pretty
Nine is
consistent.
probably
Define good.
I think the
contender.
average Next Generation episode was good.
No,
say.
no.
I
There
would
were-
say now I'm
TNG
gonna
is
get
terrible.
disagreement.
No, okay,
It
I'm
wasn't
forgetting
bad.
that the entire first and second season sucked minus like.
Everyone's gonna have a
another
different
weighted
answer
average
to
a
this
lot.
question.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Rewatching
one
season
person at a
1 and
time,
2 of
please.
TNG, there's
No,
more good than
everyone
you
at a
think.
time. I vote
Yeah, I'm
and
rewatching
Star
as
Trek
well. I'm on season
Enterprise as
4 now.
better than 50% ratio.
No.
Yeah, probably.
No, definitely not.
Yes,
I
definitely.
think Lower
yes.
Decks has been pretty solid, but it's not like a pinnacle of writing. Like, there's only one episode that I've disliked so far of Lower
But it
Decks.
is pretty good.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't watch Lower Decks for the dramatic storytelling.
Yeah,
No,
it's
you,
not
you
on the
watch
same
it
scale.
because you like the next generation and you go, oh, I'm waiting for all those references. Here they come. Here come the references. Reference.
It's not,
Yes, that is what the show
I
is.
guess the show just
Basically.
makes me
Yeah.
feel
That's
cool
what
because I
Lower Decks is,
understand them all.
and I love it for that, because Lower Decks
Yeah.
is brilliant.
I actually, having watched the Lower Decks, it did give me that sort of like, at the end of a TNG episode, you get that kind of, this is Star
The
Trek.
first
feeling.
3 episodes were a little iffy for me, but it got better. It got a lot better really quick.
Oh yeah, it found
Yeah.
its footing a lot quicker than most Star Trek shows did.
Good point. Yes.
I think it's because it's not taking itself seriously.
No, and that's the best thing. And Star
isn't,
Trek
it
Discovery
isn't. I
takes
mean-
itself very seriously.
They've lightened up a bit this season.
I mean, it's not like they.
I don't know.
With the intro to
has-
this season, I think it's been long enough I can talk about the premiere to this season. They had a whole joke about the cat and she's a queen and there's a monarch.
Oh,
That was the show's cold open, though.
is
And
there
it was a
another
pretty
season
good
of Lower
hold-up.
Decks? I
That's
mean,
where
enjoyed
most
what
of the
season
comedy in
is it?
Star Trek is. It's in the cold open.
True. And the holodeck episodes.
Yeah, Discovery will never get a holodeck episode because there's only 10 episodes in a season. I really wish they
that's,
did
that
Discovery
that
on.
was only season 3, wasn't it? Because of COVID. The other seasons have been longer.
No. Or the other one's 12. They
The
might
other
have
ones
been
were like
12.
16.
They were
You would
not.
think that would be a
16,
good
were they?
thing because the
No, they were.
Like they
the
really need to
holodeck-
pump
They
it up
didn't
to
air.
26.
They didn't air consecutively. There was a break in the middle.
Here, I'm
The first
logging
one.
in.
Discovery
Paramount.
season 1 had 15 episodes. Season 2 had
15?
14.
Yeah.
Season 3 had 13
Really?
episodes.
Oh, really? I thought it was shorter.
Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Each season
Okay,
has been
now
declining.
season 3 has no excuse for the a certain payoff being amazingly bad. So I always thought that was because season was cut short. Nope.
I mean, there's still not
Like I
that
said-
many episodes. It's still half as many as TNG.
Yeah. Well, a lot of shows these days, especially outside
Yes.
network television.
I guess
Disney
that's
Plus
great
has been
because
going on, like,
I was
6
under the
episodes.
impression that there were 10 and we were almost through this season, but we'll get a few more, thankfully. That's really good. I'm glad that there's more than 10.
Anyway, we should probably
They still
start
need
talking
more.
about the episode that we started 25 minutes ago.
They're shooting at it
Nah,
and they
that's
can't get through the
ridiculous.
shields. It's fine.
So yeah, this Cardassian missile is able to defeat the Federation's newest starship. What's up with that?
Because
not a
Balana
warship,
modified
though.
it, and Balana
Yeah, this is
is,
a pretty OP missile.
But did she install a new warp reactor and phaser arrays?
Yeah,
What's the deal?
This missile is very bad for the meta, clearly. Please nerf.
Nerf Dreadnought, please.
And they made all this amazing shield and weapons technology with the explicit intent of destroying it. Why
They
would you
don't
not
want to get
install those
intercepted.
but just install those
I don't think they
subsystems on an
made
actual
technology
ship,
with it.
and then the ship is
They
super
just-
powerful.
They just slapped a bunch of guns on it. That's all. And because it's so small, it's easy to have a strong shield around it.
I don't know.
Then make it pilotable. What's the problem? Make that the
Doesn't
ship.
seem like very good writing.
Yeah.
The Cardassians are supposed to be
It's the
behind
Aldo one
technologically.
problem, isn't it?
Yeah, the Cardassians are trash. What's this?
if the Borg assimilated the missile.
I don't know. Oh, but we never mentioned that the missile, and we've been talking over the missile the whole time. The
Do you
missile
know
is
that the
voiced
missile
by
knows where it
Balana.
is
Yes. Did you know
Maybe it gets to the planet.
that
at all times?
some guy made a really awful remix of that? and he submitted that as a copyright to YouTube, and now it automatically claimed the previous stream because I played the original.
That's amazing.
It's not even a good remix. It's just like they put a beat behind the video.
Oof.
Awesome.
Oh, copyright.
Yeah, that
They
needs
can't
to go.
evacuate the planet? Like, they have a lot of warning, don't they?
It's
Yeah, they
where
probably
are they
don't have a
gonna
map.
go? It's a whole planet. That's where they live. That's their spot.
Wait, it's getting the entire planet?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna release a lot of It's got like 1,000 kilograms of antimatter or something.
It's more than Cisco's 2 quantum torpedoes. So, yes, the whole planet.
Oh, I should rewatch that. That's a good episode. How much work do I have to do
Cisco's
today?
2 quantum torpedoes.
Technically, I don't have to do any work until tomorrow. I could rewatch that.
Let's all rewatch it after this episode.
Or we could rewatch Threshold.
No, not again.
No.
We've done it now. We never have to watch it again.
This is already the second time we've watched it. There could be a third. Hello, Belana.
This is when the missile should just beam her particle stream into space.
What is with Roxanne Dawson? Yeah, what's with Roxanne Dawson and voicing evil computers?
Even the ones where she is in the episode.
She voices this computer. She voices the computer in Dead Stop.
In Dead Stop?
In Enterprise. It kidnaps Travis, tries to use his brain for computing power. Automated repair station.
Yeah.
Your inquiry was not recognized. Though, for this, it's not really Roxanne acting with recordings of Roxanne. Because, like, if you watch the bloopers, where they didn't dub all that in, it's just a director, like, yelling the lines at them from off stage.
Yeah, that's how they usually do computer stuff.
How many times have personally watched TNG all the way through? Jesus.
Yes, remove plastic from the wall. That will break it.
Does anyone actually do, like, they start season 1 and watch the whole series? Because I just, like, watch individual episodes that I feel like.
Yeah.
But I've watched a lot of TNG. Like,
I've
lot of
definitely
TNG.
done that with Voyager probably more than once. More than twice.
There's a fleet. Voyager, are you going to help or you're just going to watch?
Just watch.
So this is like the Federation fighting the Borg, right?
Except the Cardis.
One ship.
Yeah, it's one ship and a fleet of 15. Let's see how it goes.
Except Voyager actually can defeat the Borg, but they can't defeat Dreadnought.
Yeah, but that's Voyager's not.
Voyager's not what?
A Cardassian
Voyager's
punch
not
card.
necessarily part of the fight to start with.
Is
Well,
the
they
thing
already
physical?
lost
When do
to
they
it
defeat
earlier.
the Borg?
They blow up like 2 Borg cubes later.
But they're like already weakened, I think.
They've got plot armor.
I know one of them, they defeat a legit cube by just beaming a torpedo on board.
No, that's not
That's
a cube.
right.
That's a probe.
That's a
There
probe.
was a
It's a slightly smaller Borg vessel.
right.
In any event, it should be stronger than Dreadnought.
By slightly smaller, I mean about the size of Voyager. So, still not very small.
What was that? It just erased them.
OP.
Oop.
Bloop.
But what even was that?
It was just an energy disintegration field. Oh, Voyager is helping.
Where'd the ships go?
Maybe it's drawing the matter and energy from those ships into itself and using it as fuel. You better hurry up, Alana. There's only 14 minutes left.
Imagine if the Cardassians parked up one of these things next to, like, a Galaxy-class starship and just erased it.
I don't think it can erase a proper starship. It's just that these guys' primitive fighters are trash.
So it could erase Maquis fighters, for example.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, what's your plan?
You even programmed it to gloat. There was a tactical advantage until now.
Whoa. You're gonna blow yourself? She's gonna make a heroic sacrifice.
Wow.
Destroy the missile with her on it. Is that an honorable death? I think that would count.
Does this missile know where it is because it knows where it isn't?
Careful, you might get this copyright struck. So Argos, what's up with that dude from Halo Infinite yesterday? Is he still hanging around?
I have no idea.
I was thinking of doing some more today. Would you like to come by and criticize?
I don't know. You'll have to see if he just jumps
Okay.
in. He wasn't criticizing you because you were doing very well, I was told.
If he's insulting my friends, he's insulting me.
Yeah, that's super in bad manners to trash talk other people when you're not on the Discord like that.
Anyway,
in front of other people, he should keep that stuff to himself.
Well, he doesn't. I had to listen to it.
He seems a little toxic.
Yeah. Make me.
I'm not
Alright,
playing
so-
with him anymore.
I kind of
I'm not
remember
playing with you.
in a bit she's gonna like bring up the Cardassian program and the voice. I kind of remember it. I feel like they play Gull somewhere else. I need to look up who it is.
Rasat?
I guess it could be Rasat. I don't
It's
even
not
remember who
Damar, is
Rasat
it?
is. I just remember the name Rasat.
Rasat, I'm sure, is like one of Damar's like right-hand man.
Oh yeah, that was the guy that Damar killed, isn't it?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, he was all threatening Kira. It was like, we can kill them tomorrow. Nobody has to know.
He's
Which,
like,
you know,
no, I'm a good
uncool.
guy now. Don't do that.
I mean, it's a logical deduction by the computer. It's like, well, you think you're trying to convince me I traveled 30,000 light years and I go like warp 2. Seems more legit. You're just the bad guy now, Balana.
But did this missile get taken by the caretaker?
I don't know if they said or if we just talked over it because I have no idea.
They just say it goes into the
If they
Badlands
did-
and never seen again.
So
Probably
Surely the
could.
caretaker would just send it straight back. Like,
But
there's no organisms on this. Go away.
why did the caretaker not just throw it back because it didn't have anything on it? Doesn't make sense. Why did it grab it in the first place?
Maybe it didn't know there was no one on it.
The
It
caretaker
didn't.
can
Maybe it can't
take
tell if there are
vessel
people on a
apart.
ship. It just assumes that if there's a spaceship somewhere, it probably has a pilot.
Imagine if the caretaker had grabbed a Borg cube.
Could the caretaker defeat the Borg? Find out next time.
No. If
My
the caretaker
45
grabbed the
minute
Borg
video
cube, the
essay.
Borg would have just been like, "Oh, look, new thing to assimilate." And they would have assimilated the entirety of the Kazon and Akampa.
No, they wouldn't assimilate the Kazon. They explicitly refuse to assimilate the Kazon. Because they would
That's
detract from perfection.
I forgot about that, but that is the thing.
That's
Like, yeah,
canon.
I'm not simulating these bugs.
They would grab the Akampa though, because they've got some special abilities. in
Yeah,
some
they're
of them.
probably good.
They don't. The Borg don't care about psychic abilities. They really don't. When have you ever seen Borgs use telepathic abilities? Never.
True, but we've seen Borg attack civilizations that haven't achieved warp travel yet. So
But they're probably not after their telekinetic abilities. I don't think Borg would even know what to do with telekinetic abilities.
Probably just use
Uh,
them as signals, beacons or
make
something.
the ships nearby go spin.
I am getting in lobbies with obvious hackers, and this is obnoxious. How long has this game been out?
The multiplayer, 2 months.
What game?
Okay. We did
So
not get
apparently
an
the Cardassian voice is uncredited, so I can't find out who it is.
This reminds
I
me of
need
the
to
Red Dwarf
Probably just some
episode
dude
where
on
the two
set.
computers play off against each other in chess.
It would have been cool though if they if they used the
yeah.
DS9 Cardassian computer voice.
No, they use Balana because she made it.
No, when she activates the Cardassian old program.
Oh, yeah, that would have been cool. I can agree
It's just
with that.
some random guy though.
It doesn't make any sense. It should be the Cardassian one.
They just had a different setting. You could have Microsoft Sam. You could have Microsoft. I only know Sam.
Jane.
Alexa, Siri. You could have an Australian accent.
I want. What's the guy who did the voice from Zazu or the not Zazu, the parrot from Aladdin? What's the parrot from Aladdin? What's his name? You know the guy I'm talking about. Gilbert Godfrey.
Gilbert Gottfried.
I want Gilbert Godfrey as my computer voice.
Which that's not even his real voice. He just even in interviews.
It's a critical error.
God.
There's like
Just
one
yells
recording of
everything
his
you hear.
actual voice out there.
Don't
must
care.
really-
I want that voice.
It must hurt after a while. It's so raspy.
Yeah.
Probably.
But when he doesn't do it, he just sounds like a guy, so
Yeah,
it's his thing.
I mean,
Yeah, who's this
Hey.
Cardassian voice? Who's this? That's not Judy. Where's Judy?
it sounds bored. It has a
Judy
very
never sounded
DMV
bored.
Sort of, it's a very DMV sounding voice.
If does Dreadnought not have like an airlock or something it could open and just immediately remove all the air? Come on,
Yeah,
there's
that
got to
would've
be a
solved the
faster way to
problem.
kill Balana.
Although maybe the lack of an airlock is on purpose, so that there's fewer like vulnerabilities.
Yeah, it's
It's a
not, it's
weapon.
not
Why
a
would you
ship
need
you're
an
meant to
airlock?
get on, really. It's a missile.
Yeah. You
Well, the
fire it and
airlock would
forget
have
it.
been for construction.
Well, you construct it inside of a shuttle bay. Why would you need an airlock?
So you can build it,
Pressurized it all.
the inside bits and mess with the
Just
computers.
3D print it. Easy.
Replicate it.
Yeah.
Even the missile has Jeffrey's tube in it.
You wouldn't download a Starship.
Oh yeah, you would. I have.
That's exactly what the Romulans keep doing.
Didn't the Romulans try and copy the Defiant at one point?
No.
I
Do they
have no
like
memory of
teleport
that.
in oxygen?
So they have
Yes.
it in that Starship game. They have a Romulan Defiant. I don't know if it was in like beta canon or something, but I think they did it at some
Well,
point.
That's a good point. If they can beam B'Elanna out, that means they could beam stuff in. Like
Beaming a
They could beam a phaser straight through the hull.
they could beam in a bomb.
They could beam in a photon torpedo and blow it up from the inside.
Nah, you can only do that to Borg.
Maybe the only reason it lets B'Elanna in is because it's her creator.
Yeah, well, it scanned it every time, so maybe if they beamed in a torpedo, it would have beamed it back out.
Beam it back to the Voyager bridge. See how you like it. Activating No You protocol. They could have beamed her in a second gun. Cut through the casing faster.
That was a pretty
He's
good
got on
B'Elanna
casing.
impression.
Oh, you're not at the higher setting already, B'Elanna.
Yeah, why is she tuning it instead of just setting it to maximum immediately?
Maybe she's like rotating through frequencies or something.
She could also just set it to overload. Because apparently that can take out
She's
like half a
also,
ship.
She's getting all hypoxic.
She's gonna destroy the ship. That's the meme.
Again,
We love it.
why is Janeway's solution to
Slightly.
everything to destroy Voyager?
Voyager's explosion knocks out the whole planet's atmosphere anyway.
Wait, is the Voyager gonna blow up now?
Is the Voyager going to blow up? Yes.
Yeah.
Is the Voyager going to blow up?
She's turned on the self-destruct sequence.
Yeah, she's gonna... She can't like blow it up with her phasers. So she's just gonna ram Voyager into it and hope that works.
It's the hold-on maneuver. It works pretty well.
I don't know, Voyager can't go to hyperspace.
No.
Though the shuttlecraft
It can
Cochrane can go to
0.25 C,
hyperspace.
though. That's pretty fast.
What does the phrase 0.2 past light speed mean in
I don't know.
Star
2
Wars?
past light speed. So light speed is 1. 0.2 past light speed is light speed times 1.2.
Okay, sure, but
I don't think
then why
so.
would they be bragging that the Millennium Falcon can do 0.2 past light speed? Because that's nothing.
That's without hyperspace, maybe. That's
Maybe
just like
light
pure
speed
thrust.
is different in the Star Wars universe.
You can't go past light speed with thrust.
It's canon that the Star Trek universe,
That's why
or
it's
the
so
Star Wars
impressive.
universe,
Wait.
doesn't have the same laws of physics as our
Can't go
universe.
past
They have
light
Can you
different
say that again?
constants and stuff.
Which universe? What?
The Star Wars universe doesn't have like the same fundamental concepts as ours. Like,
Physics.
I thought it
Like,
was the same
for all we
universe,
know,
but
they
just
might
in
have
a
a different
galaxy
light
far,
speed.
far away.
A long,
Long
long
time
time
ago.
ago.
Long, long time ago.
Just forgot about the Doctor. He would have died.
Yeah, whatever.
The belief that you can't break the light barrier is what stops you from breaking the barrier. Never forget that.
Ah, it's all about the
that's a
power
very
of
Star
belief.
Trek-y thing.
Power. Yeah,
Yeah, it
you
is if
gotta
you think about the
mind,
Traveler.
mind over matter.
Are we rewatching Cisco destroying a planet?
No.
Let's go to start a planet.
He
Yeah.
poisoned a planet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had like a very special poison that only worked on humans
Yes.
or something.
He
that
was
he-
evil.
The Maquis poisoned a planet so that it was only
Yeah, it's not
bad
a
to
big deal.
Cardassians. So
No
he
one
poisoned a
died.
planet
It's
to make it only
fine.
Polish. Yeah, nobody died. They literally just swapped planets at the end of the episode.
But
One was
it's
poisoned for
literally
Cardassians,
fine.
one was poisoned
Literally
for
nobody
humans.
got hurt. He didn't
lot of
even
people's
cause
feelings were hurt.
ecological disaster somehow. Because he had magic poison that only works on humans.
Yeah, that's the idea of that's kind of, nonsense, but it's okay. It's really entertaining.
No, the rest of Star Trek is nonsense. The idea that a poison could be applied to one species is totally rational.
Is it?
Yeah.
The fact
there's
that
pesticides, there's insecticides. There's herbicides.
It wasn't like a specially formulated thing. He just sent like a heavy
you
metal.
to swallow a bottle of Raid, okay? I'm sure you'll be
bottle of Raid?
fine. Yeah.
Like rainwater?
Raid.
Yeah,
you can
Shadow Legends.
You can eat too much of anything and die from it. You can drink too much water and you can die. So
you can swallow too much air.
That's the definition of too much.
People that drink water die.
I think Raid is slightly more toxic to humans than water, though.
But we don't know that for sure.
But if you're spraying
eat rat poison.
Look,
I dare you
if
to
you're
eat rat
spraying,
poison.
if you're spraying rat poison is Coumadin. It's literally blood thinner, and what happens is their brain dissolves. But they prescribe Coumadin to people with high blood pressure.
Presumably,
it's given as a medication.
The dose makes the poison.
Right. Sure. Yes, if you eat way too much of any prescription drug, you may die.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
if you eat
I don't even know what point you're trying to make. Raid is still poison.
Yeah. The point is, you can have a poison that targets a specific species and not another. And it may affect other species, but it may exclude a specific species you want to exclude. So it's not unrational to say this is a poison that affects humans but not Cardassians, because that can exist.
A heavy metal throughout the entire biosphere.
It was a polymer.
Okay, stream's over. We're done here.
So
Be
they
gone.
fed Cardassians too much chocolate.